overcome. That one was 21. Here's Benny going to the end zone. Can he make the catch? Yes!
And had confidence that Trebek could make the adjustment on this beautifully thrown pass.
Throws one up the seam. It's caught. Elijah Moore in the open. Left sideline to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, 10, 5. Pylon. Touchdown. Elijah Moore streaks down the left side of the field.
O'Brien looking right and left. A pass into the left corner. Touchdown. 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 Al Toon has a touchdown.
They give it to Curtis, my favorite Martin. Touchdown. J-E-T-S-S-S-S.
From the 24, O'Donnell from the shotgun, Deshaun Johnson, throw the damn ball! The corner, touchdown, tie game at 24 apiece.
Revis comes up with his first breakup. Well, here's the matchup. You see Johnson gives him the stick to the outside, then gets inside, and that's perfect position. The big guy inside the shorter one, but Revis getting in. That's why he's the best.
Ed, let me ask you, Ed, I know, do you have anything special planned, for the intros, or will you be in there early, or what's the deal?
Well, I put on my Instagram, Fireman42, Fireman Ed 42. People should get in that building early, brother. 12:30, man. Let's welcome these young kids that we have and let them see how fired up that fan base can be. I mean, we gotta fire them up, man. This should be like a playoff atmosphere. That's how it should be.
I agree, Ed.
It should be. Listen, we should be doing jet chants, constant, bro, and defensive chants, and have the. It should be a crazy crowd. It should be a playoff atmosphere crowd. That's what should be happening Sunday.
I agree, and Ed, I know. Buddy of ours, Kenny's in here, but I was at the 98 playoff game. I was at the 2002, playoff game, and those chants were starting at 12 o'clock. And man, I just hoped like the atmosphere could be somewhat similar to that, because even in the home opener of 2009 with Rex, I mean, that place was deafening, man, and big ups to you for that.
Hey, listen, the fans are there, man. They've done this before. It's time. It's a new era. And it's time to have this fan base go wild. I know they're ready. Listen, Everybody's been waiting, man. I mean, we've been starving. I mean, we're starving this last decade. It's been crazy. Yep. So I know that the feeling is out there, and I expect the fan base to be insane on Sunday.
I agree. And Ed, I spoke to you about this before, but guys, right now, before we continue the show, I'd ask, I'm going to play something, but I've asked if we could just give a moment of silence for all the victims and people of 9/11. So please, we'll take a 30-second, bow our heads, and then I'm going to play something. So just please show our respect and love to all those that perished. Thank you.
Before you on.
Guys, just give me a second. And Ed, we'll talk about this in a minute, brother, but let me play this real quick. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm having a little, here we go.
I stand before you on ground made sacred by the sacrifice of 2,753 innocent victims from over 90 countries. In the decades since 9/11, we have honored their memory with a show of strength and unity. Today, loved ones, friends, and heroes who perished are immortalized with the opening of the National September 11th Memorial. In doing so, the NFL and all Americans fulfill our pledge to never forget as we continue our commitment to honor their memory.
That's a tough act to follow. Sorry about that, guys. Ed, I was there that night. Man, I'm in tears right now, man. What an emotional night. We had no business winning that game either. Remember, we were down 24-10. I believe Romo was going in and he fumbled, man. I don't even, we would, I mean, even if they kick a field goal, we're done there, Ed. And just that fumble, then we scored, and then we blocked the punt. And then Joe McKnight, rest in peace, and Isaiah Trufant came. And Ed, I remember after that block punt, I mean, people were hugging each other. It was an incredible feeling, man. Like everybody was united again, and it's just, that was a surreal night at that stadium, man.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Listen, New York, a lot of people suffered that day. It's crazy. That was a crazy time, and those people are gone, but they're not forgotten. They've never been forgotten. We still do a lot of different things for the families. 21 years later, kids growing up, and oh man, it was crazy. But that night was special. There's no question about it. You got to be in that stadium to realize the emotion that went through that stadium. It was electric, and it was special. And the football gods were good to us that night.
They were, Ed. And Ed, thank you for what you did, being a fireman for the city of New York, and for all your support and what you've done for the Jets too. We appreciate everything you do. I know I do, and other people are going to speak to you, but that day was good. Unfortunately, that was the last year the Jets were somewhat decent, and they collapsed at the end of the year when Santonio Holmes had that meltdown with Sanchez. It was just, I think if we would have won that game against Miami, we could have got in too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon Moore punched Holmes in the face. We come to find out later in the locker room. So it was just pandemonium. I mean, they made San Antonio Holmes a captain. I mean, that was a joke to begin with. That was the beginning of the downfall. So
I still thought, Ed, just reminiscing a little, they should have kept both Edwards and Holmes, because that 2010 year was special. But then they picked Holmes over Edwards, and
exactly.
And then Cotchery wanted out. Then we brought in freaking Derek Mason. What a nightmare that was.
Yep,
Didn't
and
even
Plaxico.
last. Yeah, I know. I think they just tried to bring Burris in to stick it to the Giants, which they shouldn't even have done.
Yeah.
They should have just kept Edwards. But Ed, moving on now,
Yep.
let me ask you before I get to the hands. And guys, if you want to jump in and ask Ed a question or whatever, come up. But Ed, who are you looking now? What are you looking for on Sunday? Me personally, I want them to run the ball, control the clock, and
There you go.
I mean, that's what we got to do. We got to keep
Hey.
this Jackson guy off the field, man.
Yep. Listen, the key to winning that game will be running the ball. You got to run the ball. You got to stop the run. I mean, it sounds so familiar and you hear it all the time, but this is a classic time. I mean, you see this kid's record when he gets 90 yards or more.
Yeah, I believe he's 15-0.
Yeah, I think he's 15, 16-0. I mean, he hasn't lost. So you know what you need to do, and you got to run the ball. You got to let these kids run the ball. Listen, Baltimore, what they do is they enforce their will on you, and we got to do this. That's what we got to do. So whoever does that's going to win that game. I mean, you can't turn the ball over. You cannot turn the ball over. This is what we did last year, and the place was rocking for the Patriot game, and we turned the ball over. You can't turn the ball over, and especially not at home. I mean, you can't turn the ball over, period. When you're on the road, it's worse. But you gotta play a clean game. I think if we play a clean game, we'll win the game.
Yep, and Ed, I'm looking forward to seeing Breece Hall and all these. What encourages me the most, Ed, and from the offensive standpoint, now we don't have like pedestrians coming off the street. Even we have legit tight ends now. We have depth in the wide receiver, and what I saw in the preseason, man, that I'm looking forward to the most is whoever's playing quarterback. Hopefully it's Zach, but he's going to have a safety net in Conklin and Onzama, and Conklin looked really good, man, in the preseason. And Ed, we haven't had that since. Dustin Keller was pretty good, but we haven't had that in a long time, man.
Listen, when Rex the two championship
Pablo.
the two championship games, those were hey, listen.
Hold on, let me get this guy off. Sorry, Ed. Sorry about that. We got
That's all right.
Somebody that came in. Go ahead.
Those two championship seasons, you look at the offensive weapons, and then you look at this team and the offensive weapons. Let me tell you something. They have nothing on us. This team is loaded. And they got to show it.
I agree. Let me get to hands. All right, guys, have a question for Ed. Listen, please, if you have a question, don't make a take now. We can make takes later. I always say this, ask your question and let's keep the positivity and the circuit going with everybody. So I'm going to go Ray, Terrence, and then Kenny, and then Petty. Go ahead, guys.
Hey, Petey, great job as always. Ed, thanks for taking time out tonight, man. We're all fired up. I believe this has the potential to be a really special year. I'm going to make it really short and sweet. I think that I personally am willing to leave Sauce Gardner on an island to bring Whitehead in the box, force Lamar to throw the ball down the field. I don't want him running and scrambling and our defense over pursuing. My question to you is, do you have faith in Sauce Gardner to leave him on an island to bring a safety in the box to help contain Andrews over the middle?
Well, to me, he's going to have to prove it. I think the best defensive back on the team right now is DJ Retta. That's who's the best defensive back. Until Sauce can prove otherwise, I don't know if I feel that comfortable with him. I mean, listen, he has all the potential in the world, but we got to see it, take effect. So, I'm just hoping DJ is his knee is okay, because I know they were working him out today and they were going to let us know about that. So that'd be a big hurt. But do I think Sauce can do it? Of course I do. I mean, obviously, look at the size of him. I mean, how he moves. It's incredible. But I think it's going to be a combination effort. I don't think they'll just leave him out there, not this early, in his first game. I think they will at times, but they'll rotate and do different things. They're going to have to, because the Ravens are, they're a smart organization. You have to have different ways to go about beating them, and so we'll see where it goes.
All right, Terrence, go ahead.
Thanks, Petey and Tenard. Hey, Ed, it's great to talk to you again. Happy Labor Day to you. I go back kind of like Kenny, who follow me, back to the late 70s. And I've been drawing this comparison, kind of what you said, the talent level of this team. It's been a long time since this team has the level of talent that it has. And I'm thinking of the talent like in the late 70s with Walt Michaels, like young talent, unproven, but it's evident that we got it. And to me, I guess my question to you would be like, how confident are you that Salah, and LaFleur, Ulbrich, and the positional coaches have what it takes to mold these young men, to get them the confidence that they can compete with this team we're playing on Sunday with a fired up crowd, and basically compete. And to me, I think they need to realize that they can do it. And that's playing hard. And basically, when the first quarter's over, we're either ahead, tied, or at least showing them that we can do something. So, just your thoughts on the talent level and the fact that what do you think the coaching staff needs to do to get the most out of these guys?
Well, thanks for the kind words. And I'll tell you right now, Salah has his guys. Last year, you couldn't say that. This year, you can say that. He brought his guys in, Ulbrich, him, LaFleur. They brought their guys in. This is their team now, okay? Salah with it, just the defensive line alone, what he did with the defensive line and the rotation that he's going to bring forth. I mean, listen, this is their team. They're fired up. They're young. And listen, they brought in these veterans in each position to take care, to help and nurture these young guys. This is all, listen, they've been working on this. They've had the mini camps. They had training camp. These guys are fired up. I mean, I expect huge results with Salah and Ulbrich and LaFleur. I think they're good. Listen, this team is, listen, there's no cap on this team, okay? But they got to go prove it. They got to go do it now. And I believe they will. They're healthy, okay? We got a great offensive line, a veteran offensive line at this point, and I'm expecting big things.
All right, guys, we got a lot of hands up. We'll get to Kenny, but guys, remember, please make the no takes until after the guest leaves, and just make your question, and then we'll move on. So we'll get Kenny, Petty, and then I'll get Steve. We'll get to everybody. All right, go ahead, Kenny. Kenny, Ed.
Yeah.
What's up, Eddie? What's
My
up,
name
everybody?
Ken.
Eddie, listen, this game coming up, we haven't won a game in September since that night we were there for the Monday night game in Detroit, and you remember it well. We thought we had the quarterback of the future there in Donald when we won 48-17. After Donald's first pass that got picked off for a pick six, it was all.
Kenny, I think you got a call coming in. We lost.
You still with me? Yeah, absolutely. You still with me? You still with me?
Yeah, we got.
I'm back. Yeah, I was getting. I was getting a phone call, but after that Donald pick in Detroit, the team after that just steamrolled Detroit, and we thought we had the quarterback of the future. I can't believe that's the last time we won a game in September, but it's just, coming into this game this week, and I know it's been said before, let's go win a goddamn game and let's get that crowd into the game early because, like I said, I just can't believe the last time we won a game in September when you was sitting there behind the bench. Remember with 5 minutes left, the scene?
Oh, absolutely, Kenny. Absolutely. I mean, listen, Detroit was That was incredible. We thought Sam was the guy. And listen, I still think Sam could have been the guy, but Sam got destroyed by Gase, and they wrecked the kid. Anyway, moving on. Listen, the bottom line is the reason I'm telling these people to get in there by 12:30 is because you want to make that crowd. You have an opportunity here as a fan base to make a statement. All right, we're hungry. Like you just said, Kenny, we haven't won a game in September. In how long? Forget about it. I mean, this is the time right now. We're home. Listen, we want to shock the NFL right now. We're a 7-point underdog at our house. Okay, we're playing a very, very good Baltimore Raven team. But why not us? Why not us? Why can't we win this game? Why can't we shock the world and win in September and make a statement and set a statement for the season? This is what I want to see. I want to see that fan base show up on Sunday, get in there early, close those barbecues down, put the coolers away, and get in the game, and let's get that place rocking. When they're doing their final preparation on Sunday to come out of that tunnel, we should have already done 7 jet chants. We should have the place in a frenzy at that point.
And I think it will be. Were you leading the chant, Eddie? The way this crowd has, the way the last 3 months, 4 months have shaped up, we've been hyping this Jet Lounge since the draft, and it's just taken off. We are just salivating right now for a goddamn team that we could just go out there and confidence, not sitting there in the third quarter, second quarter, shaking your goddamn head. But, I got a good feeling here. The way everything is building up, I don't see any letdown. This is all started 2 weeks before the draft, this buildup, and now we got to see it come to fruition.
Kenny, we gotta have defensive chants often, insanely. That play should be crazy on defense. Crazy. It should be deafening. They should be. Lamar Jackson should be getting calls of delay a game, 3 or 4 of them on Sunday. When that game's over, we should have 3 or 4 delay a game penalties against them because of our crowd.
100%.
Amen,
100%.
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
I'm ready now, man.
I'm getting riled up now. I got to start drinking again.
Ed, man, I can't wait till Sunday, man. Let me get to Petty. Go ahead, Petty.
Thank you, Petey. Thank you again for coming, Ed. You got me fired the fuck up with that, man.
Glad I could do it.
I appreciate it. Just who are you looking forward to seeing the most on opening day? And do you think that Zach could play? Is there's an actual shot that Zach could play, or are they just trying to do some gamesmanship with Baltimore?
My opinion is they're doing gamemanship. Why let them know? I'm surprised he would even let them know on Wednesday. I would think he would wait till Friday or Saturday. But I don't think you're going to see Zach out there. It's a little too early. I think you will see him next week. But who I'm looking forward to seeing on this team, I would say the number one guy that I think could really make a difference. Well, it's twofold. It would be those tandem running backs, Hall and Carter. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing them run that rock and behind that big monster offensive line. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Do you know how crazy the crowd will be if we're running and we're getting 4 or 5 yards a clip and just pounding it down them? That's just demoralizing. That's what Baltimore does to most teams. We got to do that to them.
Yes, we do. Let's get to we got a lot of hands up. So let me get to T-Rock. I mean, actually, Steve, T-Rock, and then Joe and Clark. Guys, just bear with me here with hands. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Ed, it's a pleasure. It really is. I met you for about 12 seconds last year at the Titan game. Have a picture. Anyway.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Coach's Club, only way to go. So you were talking about Zach and Flacco. Let's be hypothetical here, though. I agree with you. I think it's gamesmanship. But let's be hypothetical. They're both healthy. Zach is fine. He's running around. He has no effects. If you're coach, if you're Saleh, who you playing Sunday? If all things are equal.
Oh, if Zach is okay, you got to play Zach. I mean, Zach is our future. Zach is. Listen, this whole team revolves around Zach. This whole regime revolves around him. They put their stamp on this kid. They drafted him second. Douglas and Saleh handpicked him. And what they're doing, and I love it. Finally, the Jet organization actually surrounded this kid with monster talent, so he can't fail. If the kid fails, he's going to fail because he doesn't have it. It's not going to be for any other reason. It's not going to be for the offensive line, the running back position, the tight end position, the wide receiver position. They're loaded. They have everything it takes to give this kid a chance to be special, and I think he will be.
But what about the reps? That's what I think that concerns me. I mean, he's had no reps the last 3 weeks. And I know no mental reps for him, but
you know what? Listen, these guys have been practicing for months, and listen, the kids. That's why you're a pro. You're a pro. You go in there. There's no excuses. You're a pro. I mean, these kids. This is what they do. This is what they live for. This kid will be biting at the bit to get in there. If he can play Sunday, he's going to be breaking their chops to put. I want to play.
Yeah,
so
he's a captain for a reason, and I'll let you go on the next thing. But you upset that Bam's gone, that they cut Bam today?
Yeah. I mean, listen, but I don't think that's over. So we'll see where that goes. I'm not
on the practice
sure. I'm not sure that's over. So
I don't think so. All right.
Steve, thanks, man. Hey, guys, before we get to the hands, I want to bring up my host, Tanad, my partner on here. Tanad, come in and introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hey Ed, I really appreciate you coming on, man. Over the years, being a fan, just seeing you at games and the energy that you bring, like you said, defensively, I think, that's how the team needs to be, defensively more on the field. The fans got to bring that energy. You have to be able to help this team make a difference on defense, just like other stadiums do, The point of going to a football game is to be able to show excitement and joy. And if you're not screaming your lungs out and you're not, your throat is not sore after 3-4 days because you scream so much at the game, then you're not helping that defense, to be able to force the offense to commit false starts and, not being able to communicate with Lamar Jackson. But just to go back what you were talking about earlier, and what PD had brought up, we're playing the anthem and just everything, man. It's amazing, what you have done. This is my first speaking to you again and contact you in any way, but just seeing you from afar, I appreciate everything that you've done, and PD has told me so many stories about you, so I appreciate everything from afar.
Well, I appreciate the kind thoughts, Tanad. Pleasure talking to you. Listen, I try. It comes from the heart. That's all I can tell you. When anybody that knows me, they know how I am. You know what? I'm gonna have all different opinions because you lead a Jet chant. You get the crowd going, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. All I ask people to do is if you knew me, I think you'd like me. So that's all I could say. I can't say more than that. I can't tell myself. I just know it all comes from the heart. So that's it.
All right.
I definitely appreciate that.
Tanad, thanks. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, Ed. Guys, we're gonna get. I know Joe and Clark, June, man, got your hands up. We're gonna get to T-Rock, and then just be patient, guys. I will get to everyone, and Ed will answer everything. But just make it quick. No takes, questions, and let's go. Go ahead, T.
What's up? PD Ray, Tanad, everybody on the Jet Lounge, Kenny. It's definitely an honor and a pleasure to speak to you, Ed. Definitely see you from afar. You're definitely something special for Jet fans, and you definitely hype us up here. I'm definitely I don't go to many Jet games. I went to one or whatever. I don't go to many or whatever, but I'm definitely here with you, chatting, and
love it.
The one thing that excites me, Ed, is this Jet team, aside from being loaded, the Jet team has a good mixture of veterans and young players. And there's key veterans on each side of the ball. I definitely agree with you. I think the Jets, in order to win, they're going to have to control the ball. And I think if we're able to get that run game going, I think we have a great chance of winning. Because as far as defense, I think the Jets, people don't say it, but the Jets defense is fast. The Jets linebackers, the cornerbacks, DBs or whatever, they're a much faster, stronger hitting defense. And I think what's his name? We got to make him play for the pocket, and I think he's going to be running for his life. I think the Jets going to get after him because it's not the fact that we're going to be hype, it's opening day or whatever. Sunday's going to be a real special day, and if the Jets can grab that special day, sad day, or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, and bottle it all up, I think we could. I think we're gonna kick their ass.
Well, your lips to God's ears. I couldn't agree with you more. I could not agree with you more, and I can't wait for it to get here. Let's go.
Ed, we need to get up 7-0 and just, you know what I mean? Like
That's what I'm talking about, Petey.
We need 7-0 right off the bat score and just get everybody up, man. Everybody will be up on first down. You know what I'm saying? Everybody will be up.
When we those two playoff games in 98 and 2002, that's exactly the formula. That's what we did. We did that in those games because the crowd was in a frenzy long before the game. This is my point. I know what I'm talking about.
Ed, I was there, man.
I'm just hoping that I know it's going to be a beautiful day. I just hope the crowd gets in there and you have the people in there early because it could make such a difference.
I know, Ed, and remember, we caused Brady to have 5 delay of games against New England, that home opener, man. Ed, I will never forget that game. It was, Ed, I couldn't even speak to my father, and he was literally right next to me. You could not hear a thing in there.
I'm telling
you,
and
to
you
be
know
like
what?
that.
Pete, it's contagious. What happens is you set the tone in the first game of the year. You go in there and you have that kind of crowd, that ferocious crowd. And you know what? It sets the tone because then the following home game, you got Cincinnati coming in. And I'm just telling you, it breeds success. When you do that and that team sees that and that emotion, they feed off of that. They feed off of it.
There's no
We've
doubt,
seen it
Ed.
firsthand. We haven't had it enough. We haven't had it enough. And it's time. It's time. It's time for this fan base to say, that's it. We're done with this. We're done with this bullshit. We got to win. We're going to win now. That's it.
Yep. Ed, I love when you say, are you kidding me? I love when you say that. Are you kidding me on TV? Like when you're telling them to point at your ear, like, you know, let's go. We all need to be fired up for this game, man. Go ahead, Tanad.
Nah, I really wanted to say real quick, you know, Ed, like the way that you're speaking, you know, that's exactly how I feel that the fan base will be, you know, just going to the green and white scrimmage over the last couple of years. This year, especially, you know, us tailgating for a couple hours before the scrimmage started and seeing all the young fans, to see the excitement, to see the energy. You know, it comes from us having young, talented guys. You know, this is not just an old team. We veterans, but it's a young and talented team where, you know, these guys want to win. You know, they're willing to put in the work, you know, from what we see in practice, from what we see, you know, as far as what they talk about, them wanting to understand the scheme and wanting to be great. All of that, I feel like, are things that's going to help the fans to be able to help these guys and go out there in games and, you know, cheer this team on to be able to get wins and hopefully, you know, make the playoffs. A lot of people think that it's unlikely, but at the same time, this is the NFL, you know. What do you think about that as far as, you know, that aspect of it for the fans and also the players?
Well, I think you hit it right on the nose, Tanad. The young fan base. They see all these young kids. They gravitate to that. And let me tell you something. That's what we need. because we have the old timers like myself still hanging tough, looking for that elusive Super Bowl Lombardi trophy that we're just praying that one day we can all rejoice. And to see these young kids, let me tell you something. When I see these young kids in the parking lot, I'm 63 years young. Let me tell you something. They fire me up when I see these 16-year-olds and 18 and 20 and 23 and 25-year-olds, and they're all fired up. They get me pumped up, man. They keep me going. I can't wait. I can't wait for Sunday.
Let's go. Let me get to man up sports. Go ahead.
Hey, Petey. Hey, Ed. How are you guys?
How you doing?
We met over at the Jets practice facility this summer. I was the guy sitting behind you on the bleachers, and we're from Staten Island.
Hey, what's up, bro?
What's
yes,
up, kiddo?
yes,
How are
yes,
you,
my man. I asked you if you played softball, right? Is that
Yes.
yeah? You would have yes. Hey, good. Hey, thanks for coming on, bro. What's going
Hey,
on?
Ed. How are you, my man? You doing all right?
All good, all good. I'm pumped up. Can't wait. Excited to talk to all the fans. I see the fans are all fired up, including yourself. So I'm jacked up.
It's probably about 4 or 5 years old. Okay, back in the '80s, Sack Exchange. You know that whole crew back then, all the way into the '90s, 2000. Season ticket holder. I'm always there with my kids and bringing up the young generation. And you know what? You can never question the loyalty of a person who's a Jet fan, because we've been through a lot of crap over the last 40
You
years.
ain't lying.
You know what I'm saying? So listen.
You ain't lying.
So listen. So
you ain't lying. Wayward souls.
Absolutely. So they're the most loyal people, Jets and Mets fans. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. So with that being said, Ed, I think going in there, it being 9/11, you're a former fireman, I'm a former NYPD sergeant. That right there, it's got to get everybody
God
pumped
bless.
up. You know what I'm saying? Just by that day
God bless,
alone,
brother.
you know, if you're not a patriot, then you don't belong in a stadium that day. That's how I feel. You know. So
Listen, people are going to be fired up, and it's going to be very emotional. There's no doubt about it.
to be fired up over 9/11, to be fired up over just a new season, and finally getting an opportunity with a young team and watching these young guys grow together and try to win. But I just want to touch on something, and I'll let you guys do your thing the rest of the show. I truly believe, I think if the kid is, even if he's 100%, he hasn't had enough snaps over the summer to start the game. I know as much as all of us want to see him in there, but I don't want to see another young guy ruined, putting him in there and then he gets hurt or he's not ready and he looks bad, and then you're hearing all the people getting pissed off. So maybe let Joey get in there, start the game. If he's not doing his thing, then a rejuvenation of the kid coming off the bench or something like that. You know what I mean? So I don't think there's anything wrong with going with the veteran the first game. I like to see Zach in there as much as everybody else, but to see him get hurt or to see him not be ready because of the snaps and stuff like that, and he hasn't taken a lot of reps and he hasn't seen any game action in a couple of weeks, I think it'll be smart if we just let him sit that one game, let him get 100% healthy. This way, he's not hurt, and you know we don't get screwed the rest of the season. What are your thoughts on that, Ed?
Well, I'll tell you, I couldn't agree with you more in the regard that, listen, here's what I think. I think that coach, I have full confidence in the coaching staff that they're going to put the guy that is the most healthiest and gives them, if Zach is ready, they're going to play him. If he's not ready, they just won't. And I have full confidence in Salah and that coaching staff that they're going to, they have their plan. They know what they're going to do. And if the kid's ready, they're putting him in there. If he's not, they won't. So I have full confidence, and that's just how I feel.
I just hope they don't make a bad mistake by not starting Flacco because they don't want him to, have a 304 touchdown game. And then
I don't think that. I don't think they care at all about that. They'll be thrilled if Flacco throws for 350 yards. It doesn't matter because their reputations are based on Zach Wilson. Period.
Yeah, they went all in on him.
This is it. I mean, Douglas and Salah are not. And I've said this to fans. I said, you could have Flacco playing 2 or 3 games, and he's lighting it up. They're playing Zach. They have no choice. They have to play Zach. There's no. You got to find out what you have with Zach. We have to find out if he's really the guy. And do I think he's the guy? Yeah, I do, obviously. But he's got to prove it. And they gave him every opportunity and every weapon to be able to prove it. So I think when he's healthy and he's ready, he'll be out there.
Hey, thanks, man, for that
Great
question.
job, man.
Good talking to you, bro.
Game Sunday, man. Section 225B, my man.
Let's go
over there.
Let's go.
Yeah, kid.
Hey,
Let's go.
Let's go.
He's fired up. Hey, Ed. So what I wanted to say is, based on that subject, when the news first came out, I was on the side of he's not going to be ready after, a few practices and missing 3+ weeks, right? But at the same time, I'm looking at it from many different angles now. If the coaching staff feel like he's ready to be out there, push him, because he's a young kid. He's gonna have to go through that toughness over his career, right? Over time. Also, if you want to play with the Baltimore Ravens mind and be like, okay, I could put that report out there, and they're not 100% sure who to prepare for, I'm also okay with that. And if he's not ready and you don't want to put him out there, but you still want to put him to the test, I'm also okay with that. So what do you think about that part of it, to where it can, help us out in so many different ways? I'm trying to be a little bit more optimistic as far as like, okay, I would want him to play because he's the quarterback of the future. He has to be able to get through these type of toughness. In the first game of the year at home, you would want your young quarterback out there to be able to energize the fan base, go out there and just enjoy that moment of being at home, playing against a good team. Now, one thing I am going to say, the Ravens are a very good team, like you stated, but at the same time, they are very vulnerable for a team that has players coming back from injury and also at positions that are not that good compared to us having, as deep of a team as we have.
Well, listen, once again, I'll tell you, this coaching staff is going to play Zach. If he's healthy, he's playing. They're not going to hold him back because they're afraid of his confidence or any of that. No, that's not why they would. They're going to play if he's healthy and his knee is good and they feel that he's operating at practice the way they want him to be in the game. They're playing Zach Wilson, period. And there's no other reason why they wouldn't play him. There's no other reason. So if we're questioning the coaching staff in any other reason, then we're in trouble. So I don't see that. I think they have full confidence in the kid, and it's just a matter of is that knee ready for contact? And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. The coaching staff hasn't given me any reason to not trust them, for the most part, since they've been here. Let's go to June. What's going on, June?
Hey, what's going on tonight?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up?
What did you say, Joe?
Joe
June or
Joe?
Hey, what's going on, man? Long time.
Joe, give it a second, all right, Joe? Sorry about that. June, what's up?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Ed? Look, I don't have a question, man. I just want to say that for those that haven't met Ed, man, he's a good dude, man. He's a good.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Matter of fact, I just changed my profile picture to the picture me and you took one time when I was at the game. You took a picture with me and my cousin. Then
I love it.
Then, out of the kindness of your heart, you made a video for me that I still have. When you're gonna laugh at it.
I love it.
I moved to Atlanta, so I'm down here in Atlanta.
Okay.
And the Patriots was playing the Falcons in the Super Bowl. So I was going for Atlanta. I can't stand Patriots.
Yeah, me too.
So my friend sat there and seen you at the gym and told you, I don't know if you remember this, told you, look, you're June, longtime Jet fan. He's trying to be a Falcon fan. So you made a video telling me I better not.
I do remember that. I do remember that.
I still got the video.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I do remember that. I was in the New York Sports Club. I know where I was.
Yes, you were over there. Yes.
That's great. That's awesome. I love it.
And
I love it. So we kept you as a Jet fan. That's what we want.
I mean,
and
you
represent the green and white down in Atlanta. I love
it. I'm tatted. I'm tattooed. I got the Jet logo on my arm.
I love it.
Been a fan for 37 years.
We need more guys like you.
Absolutely, man. I just wanted for, like I said, for those who don't know, the guy is a great man. I appreciate you, brother, because you didn't have to do it.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, June,
My
quick question.
pleasure.
What's up?
Are you coming up anytime throughout the year for any games?
Yes, I will be there for the Miami Dolphin game. Me and my uncle
Yeah.
be there for that
Fish.
Great.
Absolutely.
We'll be there.
Oh man, of course. Well, you know, the Jet Lounge got to link up. We have to link up.
Come by.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Ed.
Petey, I got
yeah.
10 more minutes, brother.
You got it. I was just
I got an
only two.
engagement with my family.
Yeah, no problem.
I would like to stay on here for 3 hours, but
Ed,
I'm
it's
out
all
here in
good.
Utah, and I promised them I'll do an hour, and I got to go after that.
All right. Yeah, Ed, I thought you were only going to do a half or so, but I appreciate it. Guys, after Ed leaves, we'll have Antoine Staley from the Daily News join us, the new Jet beat reporter. So just get your questions in. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, mad respect, June. I'm from upstate New York, brother, and I'm down here in Charleston, South Carolina. So I feel your pain.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but man, I want to take a second to say thank you to Fireman Ed, and you know, I've been with the Jets. I've been rolling with the Jets since I was a toddler, man. Love it. Love what you do. I love everything about it, man. Just keep doing you and keep being at the games, man. We need it now more than ever, brother. And just want to say thanks.
I appreciate you representing us in Charleston, South Carolina, baby.
Yeah.
The green and white.
Hey.
Green and white.
What's up?
The green and white. Love it. Represent us.
All day. I'm getting my jersey here next week. I've got a bandana for my dog. And, man, I'm going to tell you, every game this week, I'm streaming it straight from my store. Like, I've got the –
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
I've got.
Thank you for being a Jet fan.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Ed, you see what you're doing to everybody on here, man? People want to jump through this space for you, man. That's how it's going to be on Sunday.
Well,
this is awesome,
We're going to do it, brother. We're going to do it. And I'm proud and honored and humbled that I will be able to lead 80,000 in hopefully a huge celebration.
Yeah, and Ed, before we go on to Joe and Clark, Ed, you know my story, you know, as a kid and whatever, and I just appreciate all your support towards me, brother, and I mean that.
You know, I love you, kid. I love you. You got some family. You got a wonderful wife, kid. Listen, I love it. You're a great person, and couldn't be. I'm happy to always come on for you, Petey. You know that.
Thank you, Ed. Joe and Clark, go ahead. The floor is yours.
All right, Ed. Now you got the opposite of everybody else. I'm the hated guy in this lounge because I'm realistic. I'm a realistic Jet fan. 40 years of frustration, and I got to see it. I'm no longer do I have the blind faith like everyone else has. I got to see it, bro. No more Zach Wilson's going to be great because why? Because he's Zach Wilson? No, I got to see it. And I also the jury's out on Saleh big time for me. I don't know if he's the coach or not. I got to see him be a little more animated on that sideline. You know, when guys like Quincy Williams hits a guy out of bounds, I got to see him walk up to him and say, "You can't do that, son." You know, like you saw the Atlanta coach did the same game when his players made a penalty on the goal line. He got in his face ripping him. I got to see that from Saleh. I think he likes to be liked too much. Saleh. He's a nice guy. He's going to get a little more edge to him, in my opinion. But as far as the Jets, look. To me, if Zach could play Sunday, he's got to play Sunday. I need to know if we have a quarterback. The most paramount thing for me this year going into the season was, do we have a quarterback? Do we have a coach? Those two things. I don't know if we have either one. I'll be honest. Does Zach Wilson have all the ability in the world? Absolutely. He's got a cannon. He can run. He can do a lot of physical things that most quarterbacks can't do. You know, he's like a poor man Mahomes. But could he run LaFleur's offense, which is not like Mahomes' offense in Kansas City? It's totally different. Can he sit in the pocket? Can he make his progressions? Can he make the throws? Can he read defenses? I got to see if he can do that over 17 games. I don't know. I've seen it in parts in the Tampa Bay game, in the Tennessee game, but I got to see it over a 17-game season. You know, I got to see this kid lead us down the field in a 2-minute drill like Strevler did. I understand that was look, I'm using him as an example. Not that he's a great quarterback, but I got to see him do that in a 2-minute drill. I've never seen him do that and drive us down the field with 2 minutes left and get a touchdown and win the game. So there's a lot of things I got to see with this kid. Do I want him to succeed? Absolutely. I don't want him to be great, but do I automatically think like everyone here says, yeah, Zach Wilson's going to be great? Why? Why is he going to be great? Because you want him to be great? No, I got to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't just say he's going to be great because you want him to be great. You got to give me reasons. You don't know that. Nobody knows that. So, I mean, that's the thing. This kid came out of BYU where they didn't play anybody. I got to see this kid this year stay healthy, first of all, which he's a little brittle. I got to see him stay healthy, and I got to see him play. I mean, I want him to play every game this year, okay?
And another thing, as far as with this team, look, playoffs to me, that's probably a pipe dream. Let's be honest. But I want them to at least play meaningful games through Thanksgiving. I'm tired of my season being over Halloween every friggin' year. It's over at Halloween. So I mean, they got to stretch this season out. They got to at least get me through November and maybe early December, where they're playing some games where they're kind of in the hunt somewhere. So I know. Look, it's not going to be easy. I mean, the first game is going to be hard. Look, Baltimore is a 7-point favorite for a reason. They're a good team. 2 years ago, they had the best. They were the number one seed in the AFC. This is not like some kind of a bad team. This is a very good team. People expect them to win 10, 11 games this year. So it's not going to be easy beating them. So I mean, it's a tough test. We're home, but hopefully the crowd's going to be crazy. I mean, hopefully that helps. And well, let's see. But like I said, Ed, to me, I love you, man. You got more passion than any Jet fan I've ever seen. I mean, you are the face of the Jets, in my opinion, as far as the fans are concerned. But I mean, I am who I am. I mean, that's how I feel. I mean, I don't believe in blind faith, bro. It's all about you got to show me now as a Jet fan. I'm no more. We've been too much pain. I mean, I'm very good friends with Joe Beningo, and we talk about it all the time. It's like, well, you got to show me now. No more. It's going to happen. No, I got to see it happen. No, and until then, the jury's out.
Well, you know what? Here's a couple things. Number one, you have to have faith in something. And if you don't have faith, then, you're going to question everything. Now, do you have legitimate points? 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Salah, first off, when you talked about Quincy Williams tackling Hurt, he should have been pulled out of that game. I agree 1,000,000%. Now, Salah had the worst defense in football last year. So you have legitimate gripes, legitimate concerns. Yes, I do agree that there's questions, but you have to have faith. Now, I think he went out in the offseason, him and Douglas, and they went and they got his guys. Now, the big question is the kid. The kid has to stay healthy. There's no question about it. We're going to address other things down the line. Remember where that injury came from with that kid, okay? It came from Bill Belichick and Lawrence Guy hitting that kid over on the sideline and hitting him low, okay? I called a boomer.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's why it's so great.
I called a boomer. I was fuming. 18 hours later in the morning, I got cut off because I was cursing after. I was losing it.
I remember that. I remember that call.
I wanted to know if it was a dirty hit. And Boomer said, yes, it was. And that's all I needed to know. Now, the questions are definitely legitimate questions, but I have to have faith that those two guys are going to lead us to the promised land. And that's all I can do. And you're right. We have to see it. And I couldn't agree with you more. And I like to believe we're going to see it.
Yep. And Rusty, let me get to Rusty because Ed's got 2 more minutes. Go ahead, Rusty.
Okay, I'll be quick. Joe's the voice of the old school fan. And even though I'm not young, I think I'm more of the new style fan. I'm optimistic. I think we have so much talent on this team that we can't help but do well. And I believe that we will. Now, we may have to get some adjustments in the first game or two, but I think after that, we're going to fly. And I am optimistic, and I believe that we can do it. And I just also wanted to say one other thing to you, Ed. You're an icon. I really
appreciate it.
No, I seriously appreciate all that you've done because I have some friends who are old fans, and the one thing that made them really happy was you. Listening to you with the chance and getting the crowd fired up, I think that's special, and I just want to thank you for it.
I really appreciate it. And I appreciate, Rusty, I appreciate your kind words. And let me tell you something. It's very humbling when I have an opportunity to meet all the Jet fans. I meet quite a few Jet fans. I meet thousands upon thousands of fans. And you know what? It never gets old. It just humbles you when you hear people love you the way they do. It's, it's overwhelming, actually. It gives me, I get so much emotion from it. And, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm humbled. And
we all want to see the same thing, right? We want to see a world championship. We all want to raise that Lombardi trophy, and we want to raise what we really want to do. We all want to raise the Lamar Hunt trophy in our house. That's what we want to do. We want to raise that and rejoice in being the AFC champions and going on to the Super Bowl, wherever it might be, and going there and coming home victorious and walking down the Canyon of Heroes. That's what we all want to do. And hopefully this is the beginning of something special. And once again, you have to have faith. And I have faith.
Yep. And guys, I want everybody to, Petty, he's got to go. Just take yourselves off of mute, everybody. Ed, you know what I'm going to do on the count of 3. So you lead us. All right.
Let's go,
that's
brother.
It. Guys, everybody off of mute. I want to see emojis.
Hey, before I do it, listen, if you have an opportunity to get to the game Sunday, I know everybody can't do it, but if you can, get in that game early, 12:30. Let's rock that house. Let's show them what we're all about. And on the count of 3, on my count, 1, 2, 3. All the best, Petey. I'll see you Sunday. Go Jets, brother.
Thanks,
Ed.
Thanks for coming on.
Sunday, Ed.
All right,
all
guys.
the best.
Thank you, Ed. There was
Pete,
Fireman,
can I say something to Russ? Pete, can I say something to Rusty real fast?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Rusty, look, and you say you're I'm a fan of 40 years, okay? And I would love to have your faith. I mean, to me, all I'm going to ask you is why you're telling me they're going to be good this year. Give me they don't have a track record, this franchise. So when you say that, it's as if this team has always come through for us. They never come through for us. So tell me why this team's any different. Give me the reason. I mean, you can't just say it. To me, that's blind.
Well,
that's the epitome of blind faith.
Okay,
Say that.
wait a minute.
Joe, she can have her own opinion, though. So go ahead, Rusty.
No, I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm just asking her. I'd like to know. That's all. I want to know why she says. Maybe she could turn me around. And I
Nah,
go
go ahead. Rusty
Go.
got it. Rusty got it. Go ahead,
No,
Russ.
I'm good. Let me just answer your question because I'm more than happy to do so. The reason I feel the way I do is because it's not like this is the first year I've ever watched the Jets or been a fan of the Jets. I mean, it hasn't been 40 years, but it's been at least 15, and I've seen them go through highs and lows, and it's been a lot of lows. But the difference is, I truly believe that this front office, this coaching staff has a totally different attitude. And I think that they are building from the ground up. And while last year wasn't that great, that's to be understood because they got rid of all of Gase's players. They brought in for this year every single person they possibly could to help Zach succeed. This isn't like what happened with Darnold. This is something new. They brought him in, and now this year they're surrounding him with talent, both veterans and young people. And there may be a couple of games where they need to gel, but I really believe that this whole culture is totally different from what it's been, both in the front office and both on the coaching staff and both on the players. And that's why I'm so optimistic.
But do you understand? But let me ask a question. Do you understand my point when I say, like, I need to see it? I'm at the point now where I need to see it. No more. I'm going to say they're going to be great this year. I want to see you be great. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you realize it's not that I don't want them to be great, but I got to see at this point. It's too many years of disappointment,
And I understand where you're coming from because I have two friends who talk exactly the way you do.
Oh God.
Talk to them exactly.
Or you.
Talking to. So it's like we have different attitudes because I believe that this is a giant change for the organization as a whole. And I believe that everything they can possibly to make the team successful. So will we prevail this year? I don't know, but we're going to be substantially better. And yes, Zach has to prove himself this year, but I think he will take that step. because everything he did this whole offseason points to the fact that he's shown his leadership. He's shown the intangibles that are necessary. He handles the media really well. He doesn't let that intimidate him. And I think that that's going to help him. All he needs is to get some reps and to get in there and play the game. He's learned a lot from the last year. Even toward the end of last year, the coaches were having him throw short passes all the time because they wanted to build that ability to and let him show that he could do that. And he did. He cut down completely on his interceptions. Now, I would say like the first couple, like the first minute or two, he's going to be amped. He's young and this is a big crowd and everything else. And so the adrenaline running might make him miss, in the beginning, but you give him more time and more, gosh, can't even think of the word, but you let him continue to play and he's going to show you what he can do. I believe that.
And Rusty, I hope you're right. I hope I eat my words, and I hope you guys all stick it in my face after 10 games when there's 6-4 and he's doing great. And you guys see Joe, and I'll say, you know what, fine. If that's what it takes, that's fine, bro. I just want him to be good.
Hey, Joe.
Joe,
the only thing
we all want them to be good.
The only thing holding me back on Sunday from telling you off is it's your birthday, and it is Joe and Clark's birthday on September 11th. So we should all wish him a happy birthday. So that's the only reason why I might be nice to
get
Joe
kicked in the
that day.
face.
Joe, be there in the hangar.
And I'm being real. Joe knows, but
I think Fireman Ed hates
birthday.
me.
It is his birthday. So let me get to Rusty. Thanks for that. And
Thanks,
Petty,
Rusty.
No
Yeah,
problem.
Rusty Joe is going to be.
Thank you, Rusty.
Hey, Joe, you see how easy that was?
What do you
see
mean?
how easy that was? The fact that like you were able to still, see where she was coming from, because it's the fact that you've been an older fan, right, for so long.
Yeah, that's my personality, though. Tonight, I'm unfortunate. I'm a negative person, and that's like a cloud over me. And it's hard. You guys know me. That's how I'm with that with the Mets. I mean, they're 37 games over 500. And I'm bitching and moaning like they're the worst team in baseball. I have issues, bro.
I'm gonna say this: with the Mets, we got to lift a World Series up in order for that to change. But with the Jets, each game is gonna change your attitude towards it. So that's exactly what we think is gonna happen with this team. But let's continue. Let's go to Petty. What's going on, Petty?
Yeah, I actually just wanted to talk to Joe about that as well. I mean, like, I noticed that you continue to bring up Arthur Smith when he reamed out his players, but if you look at the rest of that game, they were still making the same mental mistakes that he would ream out those players for. So it doesn't really matter if you're yelling at the players if they're not getting it. So my whole thing with you're not being sure of Robert Saleh because he doesn't yell at players,
well, that's not the only reason.
right? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me because that's not him. That's never been him. He's been a fiery coach in support of his players. He's never been a fiery coach against his players. And what he does in the classroom and what he does in the meeting rooms, we're not privy to. So to say that he's soft or not a not a good coach, we just don't know yet. We only know what his record shows, which isn't great, but that's only one part of it.
I mean, can you say right now that he's definitely our coach for the next 5-10 years?
He's trending in that regard, but I can't say that for sure. I mean, like, I can't say.
How is he trending in that regard? I mean, what did he do last year to distinguish himself as a good coach? I'm just curious.
What did he do? He's built
he's a defensive guy. How did he do with the defense?
But Joe, hang on here because I got to jump in here and then I'll get to Ray and Maddie. Joe and guys at 9:45 we'll have Antoine Staley of the Daily News join us.
You could drop me. You could drop me, Pete. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm not dropping you yet. But what did you like? I don't understand. I get what went on last year, but they completely revamped and reshape the roster. They got rid of everything. They got cap flexibility, everything. Like, I just don't get what, not even just you, Joe, some fans in general were expecting 7-8 wins with that dog crap of a team. We had 8 safeties.
I
that
guess
were
because
signed up,
because he's a
Joe, let me
defensive
finish
coach.
my point here.
Yeah.
He is a defensive coach, but still, he had to get players to buy in. You hear these guys in the interview, they like each other. People like CJ Uzama signed with us, CJ Reed, Jordan Whitehead. Oh yeah, because it was millions of dollars. I get it. But Jordan Whitehead left the freaking tax-free state and came to the most richest freaking tax place in the country almost to come because he wanted to play in this system and the culture. So I don't want to hear it. This guy's bringing guys here. He's bringing guys here. Who came for freaking Adam Gase? Frank Gore? I mean, come on.
That's fine. I'm just giving you my opinion. Look, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just telling you how I feel.
I'm not yelling at you neither.
No.
I'm just trying to change the narrative.
I
Bro.
hear you.
I'm a little bit. I'm 5 years younger than you, and I've seen this shit too, and I'm tired of it. But I'm completely bought into this rebuild, and if I get suckered, it's not the first time the Jets have suckered me. You know, I'm still a fan, so I'm not going to give up on them. You know,
I guess in a way what you're saying is true. You got to, like Ed said it, Fireman Ed. You got to, if you don't have faith, you have
like
it.
how do yeah, like Joe, and look at how this guy's 63 years old, and he's going to be screaming his lungs out. His chin's probably going to be hanging more than, you know, God forbid. I don't want to see that, but the guy's going to freaking be so electric and gives his heart and soul, and he hasn't given up yet. You know, so just have, you know, I think it's turning in the right direction, bro. I'm just trying to be positive.
I guess I can't look at it then. I'm looking at it like I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be let down again. But if you think that way, you're right.
Joe, you got to change your mindset with this team. Like just like the Mets, bro. This is the first time. And guys, I'll get to you, Ray. 38 games over 500 since 1988, bro. Most of the people, half of the people on this space weren't even alive for that. And this is the first time the Mets did that. So they're in good shape. Ray, go ahead, and then Matty. And then
I'm actually
all the love.
I'm actually going to defend Joe a little bit on this point. You know, we keep.
Let me get Anthony up.
I love you, Ray. You know
that. You know, we keep talking about what was that last stat you just brought up, Joe? Because now I just lost my train of thought because I was waiting for so long.
Was it
about
me?
what?
No, what were you guys just talking about?
You don't have to wait. You're the co-host.
I know, but I was enjoying the back and forth. I like to let it ride out.
The Mets over 500. The Mets over 38
games over 500 since night. Ray, you weren't even born yet,
here was
for
my
crying out loud.
point. I know a lot of people keep saying, well, we don't know what happens behind the scenes. But think about what Fireman Ed said, and I'm with him on this, and I said it in our past space. Quincy Williams continues to make the same mistakes over and over. And then when he hit Hurts out of bounds by 3 yards, his ass should have been yanked out of the game right then and there because he's clearly not learning his lesson. And I feel like that is like when your kid does something wrong in front of you over and over again and you do the same disciplinary action and it doesn't work. It's almost like an F you to your face. Like it's time to take some more drastic measures. I'm not saying ream the guy out, but maybe you pull him out once because he hasn't done that yet. You pull him out, you throw him on the sideline, and maybe he'll actually think, maybe I got to start using my head out there because I'm gonna start losing snaps. They brought in guys like Quan Alexander to take snaps away from me. And if I keep doing stupid things like this, it's going to hurt me, and eventually it's going to hurt my pocket because I'll be out of the league. It's just that's what I'm asking for. I'm not asking for him to be reamed out and his face mask grabbed and thrown all over the place. That shit happens in college, not in the pros. But, you know, preseason, that's when you –
Petey, I was spoiled by Bill Parcells, our favorite coach. You and me's favorite coach.
Well, of course, man. But, Ray, good point. I respect that. But I like Quincy Williams, and I think, you know, people may disagree with me about this, but I think Quincy Williams has a big part in the Jets' future down the road. That's just me, though. Matty Ice, go ahead.
I just wanted to say real quick that moment right after the JETS chant, when then Joe completely jumps in and essentially goes right to Rusty. That was definitively my favorite moment in the history of the Jet Lounge. It was the funniest fucking thing, excuse my language, that I've ever seen, but it was so real and I loved it. And I loved the back and forth between Joe and Rusty. And the one thing I want to say about Saleh is that I was also very pissed off when he didn't rip that guy right out of the game. And I always am a little bit concerned when I hear players talk about how much they love the coach. That's all. I think now the one thing I want to say about Saleh also is that in 1983, Bill Parcells, who Joe and Clark always talks about, Bill Parcells, his first year, 3-12. So sometimes, as Fireman had just said, it does take a year to install the culture and to get your guys on that defensive line and the rest of the team. So,
Matty,
I know you
good
got
point.
Antoine coming.
No.
Matt,
Matty,
3-12-1. He got a tie there.
hey,
You
let
got to
me
give
get.
Bullet
All
credit for
right,
the tie.
3-12-1.
I got to drop somebody because our guest is here.
Hey,
Now,
I'll go ahead and back down. You can go ahead and take me down the listener, sir.
all right, Mike. Mike, talk to you soon. Thanks for coming on,
Hey,
bro.
yeah, I appreciate you, sir.
You got it, man. Thank you. Let me get Antoine up here. Give me a second. Happy Jet, what's up?
PD.
Yo.
I've been took a break from Spaces this weekend. Hope everyone had a good holiday weekend. Wanted to congratulate you, Petey, on being on the DILF cam at the Met game. First time ever they did it at the Mets, and I couldn't think of anybody else better to represent, the DILFs around the world than you, especially at a Met game. So had to congratulate you and shout you out for that, Petey.
Thanks, man. Yeah, yesterday I was you're the best, bro. So
Petey's so
I was
humble.
happy he's got to do this. No, well the Mets actually a couple like a month ago asked me, to be the fan of the game, and it just so happened that yesterday, I brought my wife and 2 kids to the game, and it was just a surreal moment being on the field and going behind the scenes, going through, the tunnels and all that. It's pretty cool, man. And, I couldn't ask. The Mets treat me very well. So
You didn't tell me that, Petey. I didn't know that.
That's because I really don't like, I talk good stuff, but sometimes I like keep things, close to the chest. You know what I mean, Joe?
I thought we were
Well,
brothers.
Petey was trying to find out
We
why
are,
he
but
wasn't the fan of the game.
oh wow, no.
They all hate all these teams hate me.
I don't know why you're calling it the fan of the game. Can you please,
Caught Petey and Joe on the kiss cam.
Petey, could you please address it properly of what?
No, I
what
wasn't.
camera?
I was the season ticket member
No,
of the
you
game.
were not. Come on.
I'm not saying it.
Stop
Now.
being modest.
Let me get Antoine up
Stop
here.
being
Antoine,
modest,
I sent you a request, Antoine, if you can come up. If not, request to speak, and I'll get you up. All right.
Antoine definitely agrees that you well deserve to be on that camera.
Yeah, but guys, the fireman, here comes Antoine. Antoine, welcome. How
I'm
are
all right.
you?
How you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on, and as always, appreciate it. We just had Fireman Ed in here, so you'll experience. Have you ever been to a Jet home game, Antoine?
Yeah, I covered the Dolphins for 7
That's
years,
right.
so yeah, I've been a few times.
Yeah. So Antoine, real quick before, I saw some people were legitimately having meltdowns today over Bam Knight getting cut. I do believe he'll clear waivers
my
and get
God.
back, but yeah, I know we're having first it was Shrevler, whatever his name was, a 4th string QB, and now a 4th string. And listen, I like Knight, don't get me wrong, but it's not like we cut Brees Hall or anybody,
Yeah,
But what I was were you shocked about that cut or no?
no, not really. I didn't think he was gonna make the initial 53 anyway. But I thought it was a great story, and I'm glad that he did. I mean, I actually did a story on that last week, so I'm glad it came out when it did. But all joking aside, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, they need some offense. They need to get a little bit more depth offensive line wise, and it's probably better if they keep 3 running backs instead of 4. I know a lot of people talked about releasing Ty Johnson, but everybody loves the new guy, and I like Zonovan Knight too, but they just feel like more comfortable with Ty Johnson in the system right now.
Yeah. Now, I wouldn't be shocked, Antoine, if there's a couple more other moves, because I believe if you're on the roster week 1, doesn't your salary become guaranteed
Yes.
for the year? Yep.
Yes.
So, but I do think there may be a couple of change. I don't know. I'm not asking you for any info, but I do think something else may be in the works, but who knows? But what's the feeling around the team? coming up on game week? You see I know you don't have as much access now, right? It turns a little bit. You get like 20 minutes or so now with them.
Well, with the practice, yeah, but they're in the
Yeah,
locker room. But
right.
we wasn't. They had Zoom today, so we didn't have them in the locker room like how we normally would Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But just the players that we spoke to, I mean, obviously people were excited. I mean, you go through the grueling training camp and preseason, and now you kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel with, you know, the regular season ready to begin. So I think people are just excited and eager to get started.
Yeah, let me get to Happy Jet. You got a question?
What's up, Antoine?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I like to keep it a little loose when I'm on here in the lounge. So I got 2 questions for you. First question is, did you see Petey on the DILF cam at the Met game?
I did,
We're
yes.
super proud of him. I hope you got to see it because, again, everybody here is super proud of Petey for that special moment. And number 2, are you going to be at Middle Initials? Because I'll pop over there and say what's up on Sunday.
Well, yeah, he's been promoting me being over there for like the last 2 months or so. So yeah, I think I kind of have to be at this point. So yeah, I don't know what time I'll be there, but I will be there at some point for about 45 minutes to an hour probably.
Shout out to Case, Jude, Kevin, and Dan over there at Middle Initial. Let me get to Terrence. Guys, again, just real quick, if a couple of people come up, just make sure you ask your question. We'll have the takes after the questions when Antoine leaves. We just want to keep everybody in a good cycle going. So go ahead, Terrence.
Yeah, 2 quick ones, Antoine. Great to have you on again. Number one, do you think Ty Johnson was kept because of his ability to pass block compared to a rookie? And then number 2, now that you are going to have access to the locker rooms, which I guess is the first time since the pandemic, how does that feel to you? Oh, and also, are you guys are thinking about doing anything different than maybe you used to do, like when you were covering the Dolphins before the pandemic, like in terms of how you approach the players and everything?
Not really. I mean, we were in the locker room last week, so it was just kind of like, riding the bike. I've been in there. The last time, the NFL was in the locker room. That was 2019, and I was covering the Panthers then. So the last game of the season, and who knew that'd be the last time anybody would cover me in a locker room for, a better part of 2 years. So yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's. I mean, you might have some people that wear a mask or whatever like that, but I think people are, pretty much going back to status quo for the most part. I think the locker room is spread out enough where, I don't think a lot of people are necessarily that worried. Maybe things change as the weather starts to turn late September, October, but we'll see. And to answer your first question, possibly. I mean, I think, anytime you have more than experienced running back, I think, him having a little bit more knowledge of the system and, possibly, him being able to pass protect. I think that's I think it could be the big reason why he ended up staying. I think Knight will be up there at some point.
Yeah,
I
I
think
hope
he's
so.
tremendous talent. Really good on special teams, and I think he'll get his turn too. I was just like I said, I was surprised he wasn't drafted at all. So I really thought he was a tremendous talent coming out of NC State. So
Now, Antoine, let me ask you. I see other reporters do it, but like on Sunday, will you be doing like, obviously the preview, but will you be predicting the game and all that and doing that like, Costello and all them do? Or are you gonna, shy away from that stuff?
we will have like predictions. Like I think all of us will within the company. Like the editor and like a few other. We'll be predicting certain games. So yeah, I think we'll have like a score or whatever like that at some point. I don't know it right now, so don't
Yeah,
ask me.
I wasn't gonna. Antoine, I got to know you a little bit, so I kind of, I'm learning about you, so I know what to ask you and what not to ask you now. So, I appreciate you, man. Let me get to Steve Simon. Go ahead, Steve.
Antoine, I could
Hey, how
say,
you doing, Steve?
how you doing, Antoine? I could say go Ducks, but I don't want to ruin your night, man. That was
Hey, it ain't my school. Like I didn't go there. I just covered the team for a year. So yeah, that was a rough loss.
well, it's. I'll be there in a couple of weeks, taking my son back to taking him back to college there. But anyway, which segues me. I really think the Jets, and I was saying this earlier to everyone. I mean, I think this edition of the Jets, we're either going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if we're Oregon a couple of days ago, or we're Georgia. I mean, the spread between good and bad with this team and this talent is very wide, and I wouldn't be surprised either way. So I ask you, I mean, are there any other Tony Adams on the team? Who are the guys talking about? I mean, this guy kind of, undrafted. They got him out of Illinois, and the coaches are high on him. Are there any other guys that you're hearing about that we're all going to hear about, come November, by the time the season's rolling?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think everybody kind of knows, especially on a 53-man roster. Like, people love Michael Clemens. He's been like a guy that people have kind of rallied behind. And I know you talked about Tony Adams. Yeah, I would have said maybe he's out of the night, but we'll see how his status is moving forward. Denzel Mills, I think, I know a lot of people have kind of soured on him, thought he would get traded, but, injuries going to happen throughout the course of the season. So who knows? I think that's a big part of why the Jets ended up keeping him on the roster, because they understand, Corey Davis ended up suffering an injury last year. Elijah Boyd ended up suffering an injury last year. And you may need, a guy like Denzel Mills who feels like he has something to prove there. So I wouldn't necessarily count him out as well, as despite, maybe his attitude or feelings at the moment.
How do you look at this coaching staff compared to other staffs you've covered? I mean, I was in the media. I saw it. I always got a sense, when I was in a room, and the way just the body language and the feel was. So compare what you've seen so far to when you were on the beat with the Dolphins, and what is it? What are you feeling? What's the biggest difference?
Well, I mean, I covered Joe Philbin and Adam Gase, and so that's not necessarily
okay. But that's a good comparison, Antoine. I mean, that was crap. I mean, so I'm saying, so if you're walking in Florham Park 3 years ago and you were covering Adam Gase, you feel the same way. So do you get a sense? Is it like what you see on when the Jets drive?
No, I think it's better than that. I mean, Ron Rivera. I guess it's kind of. Ron Rivera, I covered for a little bit before he got fired. Like I said, I had the best success. It was luck with coaches or whatever. But, I think Ron Rivera had a presence about him. I guess Robert Saleh would be something like that as well. Obviously, he's not as old as Ron Rivera, but he's definitely, doesn't have the experience yet. But, I think the players really like him and, want to rally around him. I just think last year, it was a bad situation. You take over for Adam Gase, and I definitely think that it was going to be a bad year. You had a rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, new players, young team. It was just poised to be, a 4-win season. Now you kind of look at this year and you say, okay, they've improved the roster, I think, a bit. And you still have some young players, but you also have a little bit more depth than what you did last year. And I definitely think you'll see that on the field this upcoming year.
I believe it. I think so. I think we will. I just want to be relevant. Just want to be relevant, Antoine. That's all. Yeah. Don't we all, right?
Steve, thanks for your questions. Antoine, yeah, you got it. Thanks for always supporting the lounge. Antoine, before I get to Petty, what position group has impressed you the most since you've been here?
I mean, I like the defensive line. I think the line has done a really good job. It's deep. I mean, I think we all do that anyway. But even before the roster cuts, I thought they were pretty deep as well and had NFL talent. Just abundance of it, and even going to the practice squad, I think they have talent. So yeah, I definitely think last year. I mean, the Jets wasn't horrible, bringing down the quarterback, but they wasn't obviously great. I think you'll see them be a lot better this upcoming year, especially when you add in a Carl Lawson to go with, Jermaine Johnson too as well.
Yeah, and Antoine, just to piggyback off of that, we've never seen what's happened. Like, I know they're practice squad people or whatever, and they got cut, but I mean, 7, 8 guys got claimed off of the Jets, which is pretty incredible considering they barely had 53 guys to play under Gase and all these guys. And especially last year, they signed all these people off the street towards the end of the year. So it's pretty remarkable, in my opinion, the turnaround of this roster and this team.
Yeah, you just got to give it time. I just think people, you got to give them time. I mean, it was like I said, it was not a great situation. I think it's so much better now, and I think a year from now it'll probably be even better. But yeah, I definitely think you'll start to see some signs of the team turning around a little bit. But obviously, I think a lot of that has to do with the way Zach Wilson plays. Not all of it, but I think a big part of that, especially heading towards the future, is his development and how well he can perform and improve from last year.
Right. And Antoine, I was pretty shocked, but now I'm really happy that they restructured Mosley. I mean, it means that he's going to be here for a couple more years, which I love. Mosley's just an incredible player and a leader. But I was just they pushed a lot of money back, for next year and the following year. So, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think he'd be here anyway. I think he's one of the better defensive players, unless he suffers some kind of major injury. Yeah, I didn't think he was in jeopardy, but now, when you restructure the deal, yeah, you're definitely, committed to him. I think at least for next year, at least, and then we'll see how it looks from 2024. I mean, they could release him and just take a little bit of a cap hit, but that wouldn't be a significant cap hit as much as it would be for next year. So, but yeah, he'll definitely be here for 2023, and he should be. He's one of the, arguably the best defensive player on the team.
Yep. Ray, go ahead, and then Petty. Ray, you
Hey,
don't have to raise
Antoine.
your hand as the co-host, Ray. You're good.
I know. I just don't like skipping the line at your show at the end of the day, PD. It ain't mine. I'm just here helping out. But thanks so much for coming on, Antoine.
Yeah, no problem.
I got a question for you. How much, legitimately thinking, how much time we see Michael Clemens getting? I feel personally he's earned it. You see the hustle out there. You see he's just a pure physical specimen. He's constantly, I think he tied for the most pressures in the preseason with 12. I think he could really be a force starting day one. So is there any chance he could get, a significant amount of play? Or just, they have too many veterans. You got Jacob Martin, who's going to be the pass rushing specialist. You got Lawson, who obviously is out there to rush the passer. Same thing with Jermaine Johnson. You see guys like that still on the roster. They love Huff, obviously, as a rusher. He tied with him, I believe, at 12 with the most pressures in the preseason. So is he kind of buried on the depth chart, or are we going to actually see this guy play?
So you said Michael Clemens. You kind of break it up there. I saw
Yeah,
that's what you
Clemens.
said, right? I mean, yeah, I think you'll see him in rotational spots. I mean, it's a good problem to have where you can keep guys fresh in there and don't necessarily have to have a core four that's just in there for extended period of time. I think the point of trying to get more pressure and get more sacks is the more bodies that you have and the more able fresh bodies that you have, I think the better chances are you have to get to the quarterback. And I definitely think they're in a better spot than what they were last year. I don't think he necessarily needs to start. Honestly, you have a Jermaine Johnson who I think is getting better, and I think he'll, be a starter at some point too. But I just think that they're in a good situation where they can all rotate those guys out, and they're, just keep them fresh and see what they can do, and hopefully, for their sake, maybe get upwards to like 50 sacks this year.
Go ahead, Patty.
Thanks, thanks, Antoine, for coming back.
Yeah.
So what are you looking to see on Sunday? I know you're not a Jets fan per se, but as as someone who's just watching the game, what are you looking to see?
Well, I mean, the Ravens are a different team than a lot of other teams in the league where they're very physical. They're gonna hit you in the mouth. They try to bully you, and for the Jets, I think you have to see if they can, keep up with that intensity and that level of play that the Ravens like to play with, where they like to, be bullies. They like to hit you, and if they are hit, can they get up in that, and can they get up from that, and be able to, stay in this game and possibly win it. So yeah, I think long story short, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Obviously, stopping the run, I think it's a big key to anytime you're playing the Ravens, whether you talk about Lamar Jackson or the running backs there. And then Mark Andrews is obviously a big part of what they do too as well. They love the tight ends there as well. So yeah, those are kind of, the little things that I'm looking at towards this week.
Hey, Antoine, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. So I have a question for you.
Yep, what's up?
If you had to make a choice as far as the side of the ball that is most important, as far as what you want to see, improve much more on the team, when you look at the offense compared to defense, which side do you think is more important? As far as, obviously both sides are important because defense is always important, but as far as the growth, which side do you think has the ability to grow a lot throughout this season and to be able to help this team win games? Because for me, I think it's the offense, because not only is it going to show us what Zach is able to do, but at the same time, the talent that he has around him, he has to be able to take advantage of that. And that's why I think, that side is more important to me compared to the defense. Not that the defensive side of the ball is not important.
I think it's the defense. Statistically, you're the worst defense in football last year. So, I mean, I guess the way to look at it is like the only way to go is up. So, yeah, I definitely think that's super important, especially when you're trying to stop the run. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I don't want to say it's okay to give up a lot of passing yards. Obviously, it's not. But to be able to, you're getting ran on, especially a team like this is coming in on Sunday, I definitely think that just hurts your soul, especially if you're a defensive-minded head coach like Robert Saleh is. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, offense is important. I know a lot of people love to see offense and points scored and things of that nature too. But I think stopping people, you just got to be able to stop people and stop the bleeding at times. And obviously, I think that was some things.
That was not me. I don't know what happened.
That was me. I was accepting the request. My apologies.
Go ahead, Antoine. Take off mute. You there?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying that. I think just the defense is important, just because you got to be able to stop people, especially in critical situations.
Yeah. Antoine, before we get to the next hands, have you personally talked to Garrett Wilson at all? Because man, every time I hear this kid talk, man, I just love his energy. He's such a positive guy, and I know the Jets are trying to draft character guys, but this guy just reeks of positivity, man. Have you gotten a chance to interview him or talk to him like for a significant amount of time, or just been here or there?
Well, we did when I first got there. I was the guy that asked about Joe Flacco, the difference between Flacco
Yes, that's right.
Zach Wilson, and that went well with Jet
Well,
fans. So
that's right. But other than that, like what's your sense on him as far as I think he's going to be this kid. This kid's the real deal in my eyes. Like I love the way he catches, he goes after the ball, and he's just a positive guy in my eyes, and that's what I think the Jets are looking for in guys like him.
he seems mature. I mean, he seems like he gets it. I definitely think he has a good head on his shoulders just from the brief interaction that I had with him. Like I can't tell too much yet, obviously, but yeah, I definitely think he has a good head on his shoulders. There, I definitely going into the locker room, you get to learn a little bit more about the guys now, and my thing is I like to talk to players about, especially young players, about college football, because obviously they were in college last year, and you see these programs and. Obviously, Gary Wilson went to Ohio State, so I assume he'll have something to say about the game against Notre Dame on Saturday night. Jermaine Johnson will have something to say about that insane, crazy game against LSU last night there. And yeah, you just get to know these guys, and you just gotta find out what makes them tick, and hopefully, get to do the same thing, something similar with Michael Clemens. Although I'm not necessarily sure I know what ticks with him yet, but we'll definitely find out at some point.
Petey, right before you get to the next hand, I want to follow up to your question really quick. I noticed on One Jets Drive, Antoine, that Elijah Moore said that Garrett Wilson doesn't like to compare himself to other players the way Elijah Moore did. Elijah said he models his game after guys like Odell Beckham and Antonio Brown, and he likes to emulate his game after that. He said that Wilson's already kind of like a rock star. He does his own thing. He said he doesn't really need to be coached, which I found very interesting. He's like, he's a very humble guy. He's very technically sound already. He doesn't really need to be coached. It's when I hear something like that, I'm not saying it's arrogant sounding, but he's a rookie, so you would think that he'd be eating all of that up. He's like, he doesn't really. Elijah Moore doesn't really give him advice on anything. Considering the rookie year Elijah Moore had, you would think that Wilson would be reaching out to him, but he's like, nah, he's kind of does his own thing. I just found that really interesting.
I mean, it could go both ways. I think Ohio State, to an extent, too, especially the programs that you come from, and it's not like, I mean, Ole Miss and Ohio State are like two different pros. Like, not just you don't have pros that come in Ole Miss, but Ohio State is kind of like probably as close to a NFL program that you can get without actually being one, with all the players that come in there and the advice that you can get. So I imagine he got coached up pretty well there. And Brian Hartline, who is his wide receiver coach, he played in the league for a while. He's an NFL receiver, so I'm pretty sure that not that it isn't things that he can't work on, but I'm pretty sure Brian Hartline, who played in the league years, but more notably with the Dolphins, probably coached him up on a lot of different things that a lot of the coaches are probably doing now. I don't necessarily know if it's arrogance more than so that it's just like, yeah, I kind of know what I need to do. I just need to kind of, be consistent with it. Probably that's probably my thinking when he says that.
Yeah, that's the same way I took it too. I didn't look at that as a negative, like just, and like you stated, him coming from a different program, compared to Elijah, makes a huge difference. And him also having those previous coaches. So I didn't take that as a negative when he spoke about that.
Yeah. I mean, especially to have somebody that played the league for a good amount of time and has success at receiver, I definitely think helps his game alive. So I think that's definitely a big benefit.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, Terrence, Chris, and Maddie.
Hey, Antoine.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, again. Hey, so it was announced today that Zach Wilson went through a workout, and they'll have more information on Wednesday. Two-part question. A, if his knee held up to this workout and he's ready to practice on Wednesday, do you feel he will be the starter on Sunday? And then B, like, do you think if he's not, they will wait until Sunday to announce it for a little gamesmanship? I guess you'll know because you'll see in the practices. It's just a matter of, is he getting a full set of practices or if he's 50-50 with Flacco, I guess.
Well, we won't see like the snaps because like we only out there for like basically to get rolled. So we're not gonna see anything. We'll see him out there on the field with the jersey on, I'm sure. But I really think he's legitimately gonna play. I really do. Like I saw him last week, walking around without a limp. He looks good. I just think they wanted to get him out there, get some plans, get some practice time, and reps, and have him throwing the ball. But yeah, I definitely think he's definitely gonna play at some point. I know people are worried, and he doesn't have like the snaps and stuff, but he's not gonna get that at this point. I mean, preseason's over. Training camp's over. At some point, you're just gonna have to get thrown, whether it be this week or against the Browns. You're just gonna have to get thrown in the fire. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, you're not gonna get those snaps back that he missed during the course of the summer. All that is gone. All you have to do is now you just have to try to accelerate. And it's not like he had been in meetings or things like that too. It's just, he has been, present and all of that. He just hadn't been out there on the field. So I think he'll be fine.
I mean, if this were any other NFL starter and, that had been hurt for a couple of weeks and they started, they were ready that Wednesday at the start of, that week's practice, they'd be playing on Sunday, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think so for the most part. Yeah. I mean, it's been like 3 weeks since he had the surgery. So at this point, I think that's the timeline was initially 2 to 4 weeks. So, I mean, it's right on cue. I just think the Jets were kind of like, yeah, let's not, put a timeline on it just in case he can't make it. And then people are upset about that. And obviously, Robert Saleh is taking some, criticism in regards to some of his injury stuff in the past. So I definitely understand why they were kind of like, yeah, let's not just put exact timeline on this. So yeah, I think he's gonna play. I really do.
Let's get to Chris. Oh, go ahead, Tanad. Sorry to.
No,
go
no, no.
ahead.
I was gonna go to Chris. Go ahead,
Okay.
Chris. What's going on?
My bad, bro.
Hey, good
Go ahead,
evening. Can you
Chris.
hear me? How's everything,
Yes,
Petey?
sir.
How you doing, Ray? Tanad,
Good, man.
excellent
Good,
show.
Petey,
Excellent.
Chris, it's always a pleasure, man.
What's up, Chris?
Oh no, no, the pleasure's always mine. We spoke a little bit earlier, and I told you guys I would come back. I'm glad that Antoine is here. Good evening, Antoine. Thank you for your time. A little earlier, you were talking about the importance of stopping the run and how Baltimore historically wants to beat up and bully you. So
Yeah.
I took the time to kind of go and if we could go through their offensive line from left to right, if I'm not mistaken. I think Ronnie Stanley is going to be hurt, so it's going to be Juwan James, Ben Powers, left guard, Tyler Linderbaum, Kevin Zeitler, and then Morgan Moses. Now, having heard that offensive line, now I'm really looking forward to the battle that's going to happen up front, especially on the outside. I mean, guys, close your eyes. Jawan James against Carl Lawson most of the day, and
Now,
then
I
and
will
then
say
and
this,
the,
not to interrupt you, but Ronnie Stanley did practice today, so
he
we'll
did.
see how that goes. Yeah,
Okay, even still, I, I'm I, I'm ready for that battle. I like that. Then in terms of you know we saw Morgan Moses a lot last year. So now on the other side, Morgan Moses gets a steady diet, and it's going to be an interesting battle to see. He gets a steady diet of Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens. Who am I missing? Bryce Huff.
yeah, yeah. Franklin,
On the
yeah,
inside, Zeitler, Linderbaum, and Ben Powers are gonna get a steady diet, obviously, of Quentin Williams, Solomon Thomas, for what he's gonna give you. So I mean, I'm looking forward to that battle, and again, it's really for me in terms of it's really gonna be the run defense.
yeah. I agree. I mean, I think I watched I remember the Dolphins Ravens game last year where the Dolphins not only were they able to stop the run, they were able to put a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson and force some you know mistakes there. And obviously every each game is different and it's an own independent thing. But yeah, I think they kind of gave people kind of a little bit of a blueprint on how to slow down Lamar Jackson. Not that everybody can do that, but yeah, be able to get pressure on them up the middle, and also, just be able to slow down the run. I think that's definitely the key there, slowing down the Ravens. And yeah, if you have, whether it be Stanley or Jamar James or, whoever, yeah, you got to be able to get pressure with your front four. And I definitely think Robert Saleh is, big on that. He's not necessarily a guy that's gonna blitz a whole lot, which I kind of like blitzing for in certain instances. Obviously, I know why some coaches don't lean heavy on it, obviously, because you cover situations. But yeah, I definitely think he feels like this front four can get whoever it's gonna be rotation wise can get pressure on just about any quarterback in the league.
Antoine, you surprised he doesn't have a new contract yet? Lamar Jackson? You surprised it's got this long?
Without an agent, no, because I think having an agent, it definitely would have helped a lot of different things there. And also, I think the Deshaun Watson thing really hurt, the Ravens' stance because now he wants all that money guaranteed, and I don't know if the Ravens want to necessarily do that. I don't blame them. I don't know if I would want to, guarantee a fully guaranteed contract for as much as I like Lamar Jackson, but I mean, it would take, I would do it for Patrick Mahomes or, Josh Allen, but or Aaron Rodgers, if he was younger. But Lamar Jackson, I don't know. I don't know if I would do a fully guaranteed contract like that, like a Deshaun Watson. That's kind of like a tough pill. So we're gonna see. Like I know he's from South Florida. He's we'll see what the Dolphins happen with Tua this year. But if that doesn't work out, then that would not surprise me if he was to try to make a play to go back home.
Yeah, Antoine, somebody who I've been really impressed with, and he was pretty good last year, and he's relentless on getting to the quarterback, is Bryce Huff. I
Yeah.
see him. I mean, I like the guy a lot. I think he's very underrated. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I think he's you kind of I saw a lot of him, especially during the summer and training camp, and I definitely think he demonstrated a lot of moves to be able to get to the quarterback as well. I don't think a lot of people necessarily talked about him enough in training camp, but I definitely think he's another player that they're gonna have in their arsenal to be able to get pressure on quarterback in second and third and long situations. So I think this defensive line is I think it's the strength of the team. I really do, just because of the depth and talent that they have on that front line to be able to get talent on opposing teams on a every down basis.
Let's get to Justin Gray. Yeah, what's up, Justin?
Hey guys, how are you?
What's up,
Hey, how
buddy?
you doing?
Pumped and fired up, ready for the game on Sunday. Antoine, it's a pleasure having you part of the beat, man. I've been following you for years when you were in Miami. So, when I heard the news that you were coming, it was a relief because I thought DJ was good people. I mean, he liked the troll Jets fans a lot, but it was good to have somebody that had NFL experience covering teams and stuff like that. So, a couple things though. One, Sauce, his first game. Do you think Lamar's going to test him early, or what do you think's going to happen with that?
I mean, I can see that. I mean, if the situation comes about, I mean, I think Sauce has done a tremendous job, with coverage throughout the course of the summer, and obviously in the preseason where nobody really tested him, but that's because he's done
Nobody.
such a good job
He didn't.
there.
Yeah. I was just going to say he never got targeted once and throughout the preseason. So
Yeah.
as Lamar is a savvy veteran, I'm curious to see if because Lamar's got my confidence, I mean, he was an MVP, but I could just see him maybe attacking him early just to get a feel for that side of the ball. Another thing too was I was just gonna touch on it. Fucking just completely off my fucking memory here. Oh my god, not Sauce. Come back to me. I forgot it. Come back to me.
Yeah, if you think about it, I'll just ask it later. Yeah.
Chris, go ahead. Come back in, and then we got Antoine's got a few more minutes, guys. So go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Antoine, I wanted to know, I was talking to the guys earlier about Isaiah Likely, and if you had heard anything about Isaiah Likely, how important do you think he will be in Sunday's game? How much you think the Ravens will employ two tight ends and the ability to defend?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's
for some reason, I'm not really worried about their wide receivers. I'm worried about Andrews and Likely for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they
I'm
like
sorry.
to do. I mean, they have two talented tight ends, and I like Likely. I think he's very underrated, and he ended up making a lot of noise throughout the course of the preseason. And I think a lot of coverage is gonna kind of shift to Mark Andrews, so he's gonna have some opportunities to make some plays. So that would be something I would definitely be concerned about if I was the Jets defense, on how to slow him down there. Maybe you put depending on the situation, maybe you have a Sauce Gardner on that particular side, and maybe coverage him a little bit, just see what happens there. But I definitely think they're gonna have some interesting coverages for those situations, considering how heavy the Ravens use their tight ends.
It's back to me now.
Justin, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's back to me. So Jordan Whitehead, I think is going to be one of the biggest X factors on defense for the Jets. Do you see them? Because I was watching some of his tape when they played, when Tampa played Carolina. I don't know if you were. I don't think you were. Were you covering Carolina? That was 19 when Cam was there, right? Cam Newton.
Well, he got hurt. He got hurt in the preseason and then didn't play for the rest of the year.
So maybe it was 2018. Maybe it was 2018. Maybe Whitehead's. I don't know. I was watching tape when Whitehead was playing against Carolina and Cam Newton, and how he spied them and how they used him in the box a lot.
Yeah, that was probably 18. Yeah.
Yeah, 18. Okay, so and he did really damn well against him. So do you see Salah like spying him on Lamar, or do you think I mean, there's pros and cons with spying a quarterback. It could give up a big play on a linebacker or something like that, and adjustments missed. But can you see it like Jordan coming up quite a bit against Lamar, or how do you think they're going to use him on Sunday? Like, because Lamar's so tough on the run, man. Like everybody knows it, but that's where you got to stop the balls. When he escapes the pocket.
I don't think it'll do it exclusively. I think it's something they would do, periodically, especially in certain situations where they feel like Lamar might use his legs on, a third down play or something like that. But yeah, I think if you use a spy exclusively, then yeah, I think you're gonna get burned because eventually they're gonna know
I was just
what you're
well, it's
doing.
eventually. It's true. All right, and then real quick, and then I'll hop off. What do you think about the other safety spot with Joyner?
Say that again?
Do you think he like on the other safety spot opposite of Whitehead?
Yes.
Joyner. Do you see him playing like most of the game? Do you think they're going to rotate him in and out with some of these younger guys? Just curious to see
I
how
think
you
I can
feel
see it
about
both
the other
ways
safety
too.
spot.
Yeah,
What's
I think
that?
you'll probably see. I think you'll probably see Jordan primarily, but yeah, I think you can see, some younger guys there a little bit later too. But yeah, I think you'll see Jordan there playing primarily because that's really his strength there. He's, I know the Raiders tried to move him around years ago,
Right.
the corner, but that's not necessarily his spot. He's more of a safety, and I definitely think he feels comfortable there. So I definitely think he'll be fine there.
All right, appreciate you guys.
All right.
Go Jets, and
Yeah.
we're
Justin,
pumped.
see you Sunday, bro.
Yep,
Justin,
absolutely.
see you Sunday. Hey,
Thanks,
Antoine.
Tanat.
Yes, sir.
Anytime. This is one thing I'm going to say. If the secondary and the linebackers are not where they're supposed to be, I think Andrews and Likely can make it an issue. But at the same time, I feel like the D line is going to put a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson, and it's all about trying to contain him, whether it's with Whitehead, Quan, or whoever it is that you're going to put on there to be able to have, if you're not going to blitz, you need to be able to have a fifth defender that is playing that spy position to be able to contain Lamar, whether he wants to run on the outside, because they do run a lot of outside option plays. And, that also prevents us from trying to cheat the coverages, because they could go with play action at times. What do you think about, that part of the scheme and us having the D line to be able to put pressure on that offense and not having to, blitz? Because I think that would also help. You don't have to have somebody blitz, but you can have somebody spot on Lamar Jackson to be able to try to contain him.
Well, I think it's different ways to do it. Yeah, like I said, I don't think Robert Saleh is going to blitz a whole lot. That's just not what they do. But yeah, have that front four, try to get pressure. But also, I mean, you don't have to necessarily spy, but you can just, have zone defense where, not only is the zone, playing against receivers, but also like it's defending stuff like that too, especially on the outside, depending on like nickel and, dime packages and stuff like that, where you have guys that are a little bit faster, be able to contain a guy like Lamar, who, obviously if he gets on the outside, then, a lot of things can happen. So yeah, just having different coverages to kind of protect you from, a long game too, because Lamar is going to run. It's just a matter of, eliminating that as much as possible.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Let's go to Mark. What's going on, Mark? We're gonna go to Mark and then DJ. What's going on?
What's up, Tanad, Ray, Petey? Good to see you guys.
Always. What's up? Talk to me.
Hey. Antoine, thanks for joining us, man. Really
Yeah, no
appreciate you.
problem.
I'm gonna keep it. We're kind of in the trenches. I'm gonna ask you something high level. So I'm looking for like one key to the game on either offense or defense for both teams. So like for the Jets, if you see something happen for offense or defense, any one thing that you think is a big needle mover for the team, what will you be looking to like? What will you be watching for? And then same thing for the Ravens. Like if you see this thing over and over in either offense or defense, it just bodes really poorly for the Jets and well for the Ravens. Does that make sense what I'm asking?
I think the key, like what I said earlier about stopping the run for the Jets, I think is very key there. I mean, obviously eliminate turnovers and mistakes too. I mean, that goes without saying. But yeah, just being able to contain the run as much as possible if you're the Jets, and if you're the Ravens, if I'm looking at them, I mean, it's assuming you know whoever plays, whether it be Joe Flacco or Zach Wilson, getting pressure on them and forcing them to make mistakes too. I mean, we saw in the preseason game against the Giants that yeah, Joe Flacco is very cautious and he's a veteran, but if you can able to get pressure on him the right way, you can force him to make some mistakes. And he made a critical interception. Obviously, they ended up still winning the game, but he made a boneheaded play. So if you're able to get some pressure in their face, then whoever the quarterback is, that's what I would be trying to do there and makes and disguise it as much as possible too. Because yeah, I know the Ravens have a new defensive coordinator, but he's been with the organization before, and I imagine he's going to run. And just looking at his stuff from when he was at Michigan, a lot of that's still some of the same things that Wink Martindale did. Obviously, the tendencies and players and talent is maybe a little different, but and his play calling, but a lot of the same things that they did under Martindale will remain the same.
Hey, Antoine, quick follow up on that. So I've been looking at this guy, Mike McDonald, who kind of
Yes.
comes out of that Wink Martindale tree.
Yes.
It seems like he does blitz, but it's a lot of like pre-snap look, and then after the snap, he's doing something different. And it feels like, do you feel like the Jets maybe got a head start on working against that kind of defense in the joint practices against the Giants? So since that's kind of a Wink Martindale style scheme, or do you feel like this will be brand new for the team?
Yeah, I feel like this. That was a good learning tool because they practiced against them and then they played against them. I don't know if that was necessarily the reason why they decided to do it, other than obviously the Giants are local, but having that ability to practice against that, especially with the Ravens coming up, I definitely think it's huge too, because you get to see it and understand, what you did wrong and, possibly correct that and you understand some of the tendencies and what the Ravens like to do defensively. So I definitely think it'll be a plus for not only the players, but whoever, is going to be out there at quarterback.
Yeah,
Awesome,
Antoine,
man. Appreciate that.
Mark,
Yeah.
great question, Mark. Antoine, you have time for two more real quick? And
Yeah.
you're good?
Yeah, I'm just watching this Georgia Tech Clemson game, which is okay at the moment, but
Man,
yeah.
you love college football, bro. It's awesome.
Man, I love football, period. So
Amen, man.
Hey,
I'm a
Antoine,
Southerner. Like, I know people don't understand it up here, but yeah, college football is like life in the South. So
Antoine, one of these days I'm gonna have a college football show on a Saturday before the game starts. So I definitely want to have you on.
oh yeah, for
But
sure.
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's get to DJ, a Ravens fan. What's up, DJ?
Yo, what's up, fellas?
Yo,
what's going on?
Hey, how you
Listen, I'm not
doing?
even gonna troll today. I'm not gonna troll today. Today I'm a hype, you know what I'm saying? A couple of days for the game. I like some of the points that I talked about. You know what I'm saying? I feel like one thing I will bring up is the wink, I don't want to say head start. Is I don't think you guys should put too much stock into that because Wink likes to mix rushes. Mike likes to mix coverages, right? So it's like
Exactly.
yeah, so it's
That's
like it's a bad barometer. Yeah, he studied other Wink, but he also studied under the defensive coordinator before Wink. So like it's one of those things where you guys is gonna have to be like it sucks that you guys are gonna the team that doesn't really have his any of his NFL play calls underneath his belt or for to watch it with film, but that's just the nature of the game. Anything can happen. So like
yeah. I was just gonna. I just saying like yeah, he's gonna put his own spin on it too. It's just kind of like you
yeah.
practicing it just to kind of get prepared for it, not necessarily mean that you take everything that happened against the Giants, like you said, with a grain of salt, but you're just prepared for some of the looks there.
Yeah. So I will say that, and a couple of things with being worried about likely is definitely. I mean, if you're worried about Likely, you have to be worried about Mark greatly, because Likely is just, this gonna be the first time he's being like installed into an NFL game. I think it's a lot different. He was going off in preseason, but a lot of us Ravens fans don't really go crazy about it. Well, some do. I will not lie, but most of us don't, because we want to see it against, like, first stringers and whatnot. So, but I think somebody said they aren't really worried too much about the receivers, and I get that. I get how you guys probably hear a lot about Rashad and like how Ravens fans can basically knight him as Jerry Rice. I heard that joke before, but I think that when it comes to the Ravens offense, like you guys say, you guys are like predominantly worried about the running game. So it's like, for you to have a three legit threats, one might only be on the outside, but still three legit pass catching threats. I feel like that's a lot to handle. And the Jets defense, mainly our defensive line, I do respect a lot. So it's like, I don't know. Over the course of 60 minutes, I just feel like that's a lot to really handle.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, especially, I think they're better than what they were last year. Just the
Way
depth and that's just what they ended up, you know, just some of the free agent moves that they made. But yeah, especially getting DJ Reed and Jordan Whitehead, I definitely think it helps the secondary and getting Carl Lawson back from the Achilles injury. So I think they're better, defensively. But yeah, I mean, you can't just discount anybody's receivers because everybody gets paid. Everybody's getting paid too, and they can make plays as well. And you leave a guy open, then they're gonna make you pay. So yeah, I just think that I think their tight ends are probably more the S factor. That's just kind of what they really lean on too. But yeah, you got to be able to cover the receivers too as well, especially offense is the way it is constructed, the way the Ravens are.
Yeah. So I guess the thing I would say, Peter or anybody who's a Jets fan, predominantly, like, well, yeah, most of you guys. What do you guys feel like the game's gonna go like? Like, I mean, you could give a score prediction, or you could give like an estimation of how you feel it's gonna go.
First of all, DJ, you coming to the game?
I wish I could come to that game, but I can only do a home game.
Well, why don't we just DJ? Give me 1 second. Let me just get to Maddie, and then I'll answer that question because Antoine's got to hop off in a minute. So, Maddie Ice, go ahead, and you can end it. And Antoine, appreciate you as always, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Antoine, if you don't want to answer this, or if it's like awkward for whatever reason, don't worry about it. But I'm just curious, the life of a daily news reporter, right? You're building a relationship with the players. You're building a relationship here in Spaces with fans, right? How do you do your job truthfully, especially in a market like New York, where I'm sure your editor's looking for catchy headlines, oftentimes negative headlines? How do you continue? Right now it's all fun and everything, but then you got to write some harsh articles that might be true about, potentially, hopefully not, but some bad performances, right? Long story short, how do you, what goes through your mind? How do you continue to build trust with the players, build trust with the fans while still trying to do your job?
I mean, you just be honest. I mean, that's basically what I'm not trying to say, things that happen that aren't happening. I can't speak for other reporters. All I can do is speak for myself and, my experiences, no matter where I've been. But I just tell people what's happening. And then, people have eyes. They know if a team's playing well or not. They may not know exactly why they're playing well or what's led up to, the poor performances or things like that. But yeah, I just tell people, the truth. And I think people will respect you for it. They might not necessarily agree with you, but that's just how I go about things. And about the editor, I mean, they're just I have kind of the latitude to do whatever I want to. But obviously, you definitely want to have different types of stories and stuff that's catchy and appealing and getting people to come to your website there too as well. But also, if you're putting out truthful content, I definitely think in honest reporting, I think people are gonna come back and continue to read your stuff there. But yeah, I don't try to tell people anything that isn't necessarily true. That's basically how it is. Like I'm not, if I think a team is, playing real shitty, then that's what I mean, I won't write it in those words, but that's kind of what I'll say. If a team's playing well, then, I'll write, why they're playing well or why the team lost or whatever. So yeah, like I said, I don't try to, say things that try to create controversy. That's just never the way that I've gone about things there.
Was there ever a time, Antoine, in your career, whether it was Carolina, Oregon, when you wrote an article and maybe the editor put like a big headline on it, when you were like, "What the fuck," and like it made, you know what I mean? It kind of like, I don't know, like maybe like you were pissed off. I mean, you don't have to obviously call out anyone specifically, but has that ever happened to you?
Not necessarily. Normally, I know what the kind of the headlines are going to be. I mean, I've had people that made headlines that I necessarily like, but I kind of, we talked about it and they can change it. But no, I don't think it's anything been that like to an extent. I get like you definitely want to make a headline catchy, and it's kind of like a thin line between, I know a lot of people call it clickbait and actual, trying to draw an audience to your article. So yeah, like I say, it is a thin line in between that. But yeah, I don't necessarily know if it was a time where I got super upset when somebody had wrote an article or editor had rewritten a title of an article that I didn't like.
All right, Antoine. Appreciate all your time, man. As always, you've been a regular on here. We appreciate you, the fans do, and keep up the good work. And we'll talk to you hopefully next week. All right.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
Antoine,
man.
thank
Take
you,
care,
man.
Antoine.
We'll see you next week.
No problem.
Hey, that was Antoine Staley. Thanks, Antoine, from the Daily News. And folks, I mean, before we go on, I just want to mention something. Like this is the last space before the season starts, and I want to bring up a point because when Tanat and I first started, Nicole Esther down here had mentioned, that Connie was in our space because I asked Connie to come on as our guest before me and Tanat were in the jet lounge, and she had told Terrence, or tweeted it out, and Terrence had saw it. So, hey, Ray, can you mute real quick? Because I'm hearing double.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. But and then, Terrence came on, and that's how friendships were started on this thing. So, I don't have enough fingers on my hands to start off the relationships I've gotten from these spaces in this jet lounge. So Nicole doesn't speak a lot on here, but for what she did, that started everything because then Terrence came into space and he was one of the first in our show, and then that's how this thing built. And for us to come around, to this point now where everything's just so surreal and the season's starting and we're here right now, it's incredible, man. So I want to thank all the fans on here for real, because without you guys, this doesn't happen. I know we get guests, like I want the guests to talk and all that, but it's for you guys, and like after Fireman Ed, like hearing everything today, man, I wanted to run through. I was ready to go to the stadium. So, I mean, it's late, we're going to be up here on countless hours during the show, during the year. So, guys, if there's a take, you say, don't be afraid to say it. Listen, I may say stuff that you don't agree with or somebody else does, but it's nothing personal. We can all agree to disagree sometimes, but at the end of the day, I love the Jets, you love the Jets, and we just want them to win. So I just can't, the experience I've had talking to reporters, Fireman Ed, Damian Woody, Tony Richardson, you name it, DJ Enemies come on here, Mike DeVito, the countless names, Anthony Beck, I'm Rob Carpenter, my good buddy, countless people that's come on here. It's just incredible. And I'm honored. Shout out to Connor Rogers too, has also been on a lot. And I can't thank them enough and you guys enough, because without you, there's none of us. So, this has come full circle. If anybody's got anything to say, even a guy like June that's coming here, and I would have never thought he had a picture with Fireman Ed, and now I see his profile picture. But Ed's, I know some people have their opinion about Ed, but I love the guy. He's been very good to me. He supports me and in my livelihood and in my life in general. I met him years ago at a fundraiser event, and he's been nothing but a class act to me. So I just appreciate everybody on here, and especially people like Ed. Ed's 63 years old, like he said, and he's bringing energy like he's 20. So it's got to be exhausting, but we're all exhausted. I just want a winner. So if you guys got any takes, come on up. You know, we're gonna end the show around 11. I got a little music outro, you know, to end this with, but not yet. So I want to hear, you know, from Tanad and then you guys.
Now go ahead, PD. I want you to touch on what DJ has said early, and then I'll follow up on that.
Oh, is DJ still on here? DJ,
Yeah, he's still
so
here.
my bad. See, DJ, I forgot, but thanks for coming on, man.
No
So
problem.
yeah, my thing is, and I mean, if the Jets don't stop Lamar, you know, scrambling, it's going to be a long day. That's. I'm going to keep it short. The Ravens are going to win. You know, but I do think if the Jets can get to him somehow, knock him down, you know, a few times, let him throw those uncomfortable passes, you know, those sidearm passes that sometimes when he's not comfortable in the pocket, I've seen that happen to him, and just make him feel uncomfortable and, you know, get the crowd involved. I think it could be a very close game, and I think the Jets may be able to squeak it out. I'm not saying they're gonna, but the Jets have to get to them and they have to run the ball effectively to set up play action. If they do not do that, again, with Lamar, I think it's going to be a long day, and that's my take on that.
So I will. So basically, you're saying two things I gathered. So contain Lamar as best as possible, right? And you have a chance, which I think is a very fair assessment. And then you have to initiate the run before your offense can really flourish or be like a well-oiled machine.
Correct.
My only thing is though, I think I'd rather go with like try your best to contain Lamar, like because I think you guys, if Ronnie doesn't play, your line should be definitely favored against our O line. Your D line should be favored over our O line. If Ronnie plays, I'm not sure about that. But the reason why I say that over the rushing is because last season when we were depleted, we held Nick Chubb in 2 games to 66 yards or 76 yards, one of those two, and over like 25 carries. So like, I just find it hard to like believe that if with the Browns with their line and their backs, not saying you guys' line is bad, it's just your line is good and your backs are good, but I feel like more people would agree with me and say that like the Browns might be a little bit better. I just find it hard to see you guys rushing on us because it's like it's something that has to. Everybody says it just has to be done, right? That's you have a game plan, but still you still have to have the personnel to do it. And I feel like the Ravens are one of the only teams that really care about having big guys on the D line, not really fast guys, and like they're obsessed with it. So I feel like that's kind of a reason to me why they're consistently good at stopping the run most of the time. So I don't know. I think that would be a little bit more daunting than trying to contain Lamar because again, like I don't think our line without Ronnie gives us the ability to hold off Carl Lawson and Jermaine Johnson and Quentin Williams and you know, like I know a lot about CJ Mosley. He's definitely somebody who could hit. So I think that's his talent more in the run game more than in the
DJ, let me ask you, you know, what now, not being biased or anything, I gave you my honest assessment. What if anything scares you about the Jets?
Your corners scare me. Your corners, and I haven't seen Carl Lawson play in a long time because of his injury, so I can't. If Carl Lawson plays against Jawan James, good luck to Jawan James, right? But because that's who's our left tackle. I don't think Morgan's playing on the right, but so that's a big problem. But other than that, I think having Sauce be your second best corner is a lot. It's saying a lot because people forget about DJ Reed and what he's done. Um, I think that for him to strap the corners he's strapped, right, it says a lot. Now, I don't know what to bank on because DJ Reed, he has issues with route runners, you know, like the Adam Thielens. I think that's who gave him the most yards last season. And who else is a route runner that he went against as a really good route runner? Deontay Johnson, right? Rashad Bateman isn't really his best attribute is route running. So it's like I don't know how that's gonna go. It's either because it's Rashad. Like it's his first game against a keep CB1, right? And against the entire game at least. He's definitely played against them, but not the entire game. So I don't know how that's going to go. I can see DJ completely shutting him down, or I can see Rashad having his way, and then okay, the Jets say, "Well, screw that. Sauce is 6'3". He has length. Let's use him." You know, because I feel like Sauce is kind of like a neutralizer for goddamn it, basically any receiver possible. So I don't know. that matchup receiver wise is really weird to me, and I don't think that we're gonna predominantly eat in the middle of the field. Like we can't unless our running game is really cooking you guys, which I don't even foresee that either. It's possible, but I still don't know. I just don't see us just feeding it to Likely and Mark, and that's all we need to go to win the game. We either need the receivers to perform or the running backs to seriously perform.
DJ. So what I'm going to say is the reason why I believe that the tight ends are the most important weapons, right? Especially Mark Andrews, is because of the chemistry that Lamar Jackson has with him. So regardless, he's gonna go to Mark Andrews, right? And then with Likely, that helps him out because he's able to get, single coverage on the other side. If we decide that, okay, we're gonna just man up against Mark Andrews. Now, the point that you made about the corners, that's scary to you guys. I do agree with that because that's one of the best, positions on the team, in my opinion. Those couple of guys, even in the slot. So Bateman is gonna see both DJ Reed and also Sauce. It's not gonna be just one guy on him, so they're gonna give him different looks. And I believe that the talent that we have at the cornerback position can take over the game compared to the guys that you guys have at the wide receiver position, right?
Right.
And that itself, I think, is going to be a major difference for this game. On top of the D line, even with Ronnie Stanley in there, I still can think that our D line has the advantage over you guys. Whether it's Carl Lawson or Jermaine Johnson, if they decide to put him on that side, of course, I would want Carl Lawson to be on that side because I feel like he's more of a ferocious pass rusher. But I still think that our D line overall has the advantage, and that's where I think the D line in the cornerback position, where we can take advantage of the game and cause some trouble for Lamar. Force him to be able to make those errant throws, and that those two things I think are going to be the major difference for the game. I do think it's going to be a close game. I can't give you a score. I'm not going to do that because somebody might score last minute and then the games end up being a double-digit
Right.
game or something like that. But
Sonata,
I do
I'm
think
gonna
it's going
give
to be a
my
very close game.
my bad. I'm gonna give my prediction real quick if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb here, DJ, and say I'm getting creative here. The Jets are going to be up by a touchdown at the end of the game, and Baltimore is going to march down the field and they're going to score. But Harbaugh is going to get greedy and go for two, and I'm going to say the Jets are going to stop it and win by a point.
Okay.
I love
What's
that.
that final score, Petey? You and Tanat, it's your show. We got to know it.
I'm going to go 24-23 Jets.
Okay.
All right. So for me,
that's just me. I mean, am I confident in that? I guess I have to be to have some conviction, but that's what I'm going to go with, bro. And DJ, I appreciate you coming on.
No problem, no problem. I wanted to respond to Tanat. I think that if our O line and our tight ends are struggling, I don't see how we win that game. Let me be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I
So
think those are the strong points of your
that's a
team.
thing. Only because Lamar's line last year was like bottom 3, and he still kind of made it work. He gave a little wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? We played against the Browns with Myles Garrett, and then Jadeveon Clowney. So I it's hard for me to just say, okay, like boom, this is gonna happen. I'm not saying that's what you guys are doing, but it's hard for me to see that happen. Like I have to see the Jets really cause him stress. Like especially with our improved line. Our center is way better because our last center was average. Our right tackle is way better than what we had last year. Even though you guys don't like Morgan Moses, I rather
like
take
Morgan Moses.
Yeah, nobody said we don't like him.
Really? Oh, I was gonna say there's a group of Jets fans on Twitter that hate him.
Well, they're just delusional.
DJ, I'm gonna be honest with you. The fans that don't like him, right? They did not watch games and saw how helpful he was. Even though he wasn't that good, but compared to the guys that we had that could have played, he played much better. And that helped Font as well. Font played very well on the left side.
Yeah, for Lamar, because our tackles were like so bad they couldn't even play as guards. Like it was that bad. So
yeah. So real quick, let me get my prediction is going to be 24-20 Jets. So that's my prediction right now. So PD said it's gonna be a 1-point game, 2-point game because you said it was gonna be a 1-point game. I'm saying that it's gonna be, a 4-point game, 24-20 Jets, and the stadium's gonna be rocking. But I think it's gonna be a tough, Very close game all throughout. It's gonna be a battle. That's what I expect from both teams. The Ravens always play tough. They always play us tough, and I think it's gonna be one of those games, that we enjoy, on both sides of the spectrum as fans. But that's my prediction right now, for Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, Tanad, let me see if Kenny or Chris, do you guys have anything for DJ or you want to do something else?
I got a question for DJ.
Go ahead.
DJ, you could probably answer this because Joe Flacco was on your team. Going into Sunday's game, who do you fear more, Wilson or Flacco, or it really doesn't matter?
Flacco, bro. So here's why I say Flacco, right? I think ability-wise, Wilson clearly has more, and that's saying a lot because Joe still has a big-ass arm. But Zach's mind isn't there yet, in my opinion. Like, he has every single tool in the toolbook, but he just until he puts it together, it won't manifest. And I don't know if he's gonna get it, when he's gonna get it, or if it's gonna be this season. So like, we much rather play Zach because he loves his own arm so much, and we're playing zone this season, and we have a lot of ball hawks this season on our team. So it's like I'd rather gamble him trying to throw it all over the place versus Joe Flacco, taking a lot of checkdowns here and there, moving the chains. Um, and I don't really think Joe really forces throws unless he's comfortable with his receivers. So it's like, in my opinion, with his mind, with his experience, with how patient he is on some things, and how he doesn't force the issue unless, like I said, he truly believes his guy will come down with it. Like, I rather play against Zach, somebody who's more errant, more ambiguous, like until like the result of how he's gonna read the defense and what gambles he's gonna take. I much rather play him. So that's why I know Robert Saleh is literally playing with us, because we know damn well. I don't know how you guys feel, but I don't think Zach Wilson's playing at all. I think he brought that up recently because to throw a little wrinkle in maybe the Ravens game plan. That's what all these coaches do. It doesn't make sense to risk his health just because of what? Because of the first game of the season. Like, you'll have more games. I could be wrong though.
Thanks, DJ. Chris, do you have anything
Chris,
for
go ahead,
DJ?
Chris.
Yeah. I think DJ may have gone over it, but just to clarify, what's your confidence level that Ronnie Stanley is going to play game one? Your confidence level in Juwan James, and I think you said it a little earlier, if he has to go against Carl Lawson all day, or possibly a JFM, or I don't know if you're familiar with
Yeah.
Jacob
So
Martin.
unless I think Carl Lawson plays against the left tackle, right? He lines up across the left tackle predominantly.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Okay. So first question you said was Ronnie. How confident I am if he plays week one? This is such a big cop out, but this is the most 50-50 I felt of anything this season on the Ravens thus far. Only because, like, when Marcus Peters came back, it was clear that Marcus Peters was practicing. Like, it's like an unspoken thing, at least to me. Like, I don't have any proof, but I can just, like, day one when you're coming back from practice, you're not supposed to look as fluid as you were. So I feel the exact opposite about J.K. Dobbins. And when it comes to Ronnie, I feel the exact same way I felt with Marcus Peters. Like, I felt like he looked like he's been practicing. And I think it was reported that he's been practicing for a while now, like maybe a week or a couple of days. But it wasn't reported because it wasn't open in the media portion of practice. So, John and Ms. Mysterio purposely being hidden and shit. Like, he wants to have that element of surprise. So I don't know what he has cooking up. I don't know what Ronnie's confident in. But I really don't know. I could see him missing the first 2 weeks, or I could see him playing week one because we're like, oh fuck no, we're not gonna let Juwan James play now that Ronnie has his life and can play. So I don't know about that one.
Now what did you? I'm sorry. What did you think about J.K. Dobbins?
So
availability for game one.
He's definitely available in my opinion. Like, it seems I wasn't available. I wasn't sure 5 weeks ago if he was going to play, but he's been practicing for a month and a half now. Like, in my opinion, I'd be very shocked if he doesn't get a couple snaps, if he's a DMP or if he's a healthy scratch. Like, he's definitely not on IR. He's definitely good. He's gonna be healthy enough to play week 2, week 3, week 4, definitely. But I don't know if week 1 John's gonna trust and be like, okay, let's let you play. But I wouldn't be surprised if John gives him like 7 carries or a couple of passing plays, like or like just to see what he has in him, and then over time over the season he'll be good to go. But definitely he's definitely on the roster. He's definitely going to be. I think it's a 99% chance he's not a healthy scratch. But how many snaps he gets, who knows?
Lastly, if I could, I'd like to get your impressions of Kyle Hamilton and
I
what you
love
think
him.
of Kyle Manson.
I love.
Okay,
I love him.
say
I
no
love him
more.
because he's
he said, I love
instinctual, bro. Like he
it.
doesn't.
Good.
It's you gotta understand. We had two strong safeties last season. Now we have two free safeties. So it's like in my opinion, I like him. I mean, I wish he would start early so he can get some of the growing pains out early. But it is what it is. But after I was bashing him a lot, I won't lie. I was like saying, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you missing tackles? Why are you gambling on this? Why are you leaving your assignment here?" But when I looked over all 22, when I watched a couple of videos of the guys on YouTube, I started to see that he's really cerebral. One and two, he doesn't even get like he looks for work as opposed to work finding him. So it's like he doesn't he oh juice. I said I was worried, bro. But nah, but yeah, I definitely early on didn't trust what I was watching. Like I was like, come on, Kyle. He might could be a bust. But after going over it, talking with some of the guys on Ravens Flock and watching film again, like I felt like this season I'm a lot more confident than I was when I was watching preseason. Definitely.
Hey, DJ, I was just gonna ask, are you talking to Juice? And I see him pop in.
Yeah, Juice. He DM'd me. He said I was nervous, and I was like, I told you guys I was nervous. I'm the one that I spoke that up before he even DM'd me.
Yeah. Well, listen, let me get to Ray. Go ahead, real quick, and then we're gonna end the show with a little bit of music, and then
Yeah, the only
from
thing
there.
that I will say is people are sleeping on this offensive lineman for the Jets, especially in the interior. People are forgetting that we brought in Lincoln Tomlinson, who grades out as an absolute top of the line run blocker, mauler, perennial Pro Bowler. He's only 30 years old and doesn't get injured. McGovern graded out as a top 10 center in the league last year. And Elijah Vera Tucker was a first-round pick who's projected to be a Pro Bowler at the end of this year. So people, I just hope they keep sleeping. And when we run the ball down their throat, you're going to be like, who the hell is that blocking up front? People are forgetting. Go look at the holes that were created during some of these games, especially against the Giants. We finally have running backs that see the cut back lanes and have great vision. So, they brought in LaShawn McCoy to work with them this offseason. I hope everybody just keeps sleeping on them.
Hey, Ray, look at the Jumbotron. Look at what Tomlinson did to that Giant in the preseason, bro, and Dwayne Brown. Just play that video up, guys.
Well,
If
did you
could
see the
it.
video I posted? Tomlinson actually retweeted it, and it's when
Yeah,
he
I
was.
saw that.
Yeah, he retweeted it,
Ray,
and he
I got
just
a
wrote
joke with you. That was your Twitter highlight. An NFL guy retweeted you. You made it. So,
and he
guys,
followed me.
Yeah,
Story of
guys.
my life.
Speaking of you made it. So Tanad, before we go, I got this instrumental by Ghostface Killer. We made it to end the show. So we made it to the regular season, folks. We made it out of here. I'm just gonna enjoy this music. Tanad, if you got any final thoughts, next week we'll be joined by Will Parkinson to recap the game. Should be a fire show as always. Appreciate everybody, even the Ravens fans coming on here. Shout out to Juice and DJ. Respect and all you guys here on the lounge. My people, 50. Cap, Tommy, who I met yesterday. Everybody, Chris, Kenny. I can't name everybody on here, but shout out to you guys and Tanad, if you don't have anything, I'm gonna hit the play button.
Real quick, man. I'm just so excited for this week. Football season's here. I'll see a lot of you guys at the stadium. If you're not able to make it, I'll see you sometime down later on in the regular season. Just be excited, man. We can't wait to be at the stadium to be able to, support this team and, come out that stadium with a W. So, come enjoy the game. If you're not able to make it, if you're still thinking about making it, get in contact with somebody in here. Whether it's me, PD, Ray,
Kenny, if you're looking
If
for
you're trying to
tickets, we'll
make it
find a way to
tonight, you
help you
better
out.
enter that giveaway that they're doing right now. Those
Yep.
free tickets are not cheap, man.
Yep, I
So
was
get
just
in
gonna
on
say
that.
that. There's a giveaway right now, so if you guys go on the Jet Lounge page, you guys will see the giveaway. So try to enter it. It's not sideline seats, but at the end of the day, it's pretty good seat to be able to come out there and watch the game, and enjoy it, man. So you never know, you might just have a chance to be able to get some good tickets and enjoy the game, and and just enjoy this Sunday, man. It's a season opener, so it's gonna be a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
As always, we appreciate everything that y'all do for us,
Yep.
and to be a part of this show. Go ahead, Peter.
And no, well, Justin just came up. Justin, you have anything?
No, I was just coming in to say what's up, and I'm sorry I missed most of the show, but I was listening before. But I just want to say what's up.
It's all
I
right. I'm
appreciate you,
great.
bro.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
Justin this morning, I think it was, said he was going to buy me a blow up unicorn. So I got something for him when I see him on
I
Sunday.
know.
And it's not a unicorn.
Fan of the game over here, playing the trumpet for me
Yeah.
or something.
But nah, I won't. But guys, just
Good
want to
man.
plug just want to plug the show. Justin and Benny are on Monday mornings, every Monday morning takeoff at 8:30 a.m. We got me and Tanad Monday nights take flight. I don't know if there'll be a lounge on Tuesday nights anymore, but Wednesday we got Happy Jet with his ISO and all takes, no breaks. Shout out to Happy Jet, getting creative on everything. Thursdays, the original Jet Lounge show with Ray, Anthony, and Tanad and Sack. Friday is Joe and Clark and Kenny. Friday Night Lights.
And Petey, that one there, Friday night, it's going to be a late Friday Night Lights. We're probably going to kick it off around anywhere between 10 and 11 because we're probably going to the Beningo podcast. And,
okay.
And if Beningo sticks around after he's done, I'd love to get him on.
Hey, Kenny, that's wonderful. That's the perfect
Yeah.
way to to preview the game. Closer to the game day, so that's perfect.
Yeah, and then we got after the Jet games, every Jet game on Sunday, we have the original Jet Lounge hosted by Sack, Ray, and Anthony. And shout out to the Jet Lounge, all my Jet Lounge people, Pat Dunn, doing all the behind the scenes work. I can't forget Pat.
Yeah,
for the
you
website.
forgot his name the other day.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
why
I
you
just
said this.
I got a text message about it too. But shout out to everybody on here, and I'm closing the show with this. We made it. We made it. So, shout out to everybody on in here. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Come on, DJ, somebody, I need you to sit. But guys, thank you. And we definitely made it. So, big ups to everybody.
6 days away. 6 days away. We're here. Good night, everybody. We'll
Let
see
it
y'all
play
next
for
week.
a second. And thanks as always, brother.
No, thank you, brother.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night, y'all.